There's a kind of strength you can't buy or borrow. It's born in the fire, tempered by sacrifice, and carried by those who never stopped serving. Some heroes wear uniforms. Others wear scars. They're veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. Men and women who gave everything and still keep giving. At the Warrior Shield Foundation, we stand beside them, shoulder to shoulder, providing the support, the care, and the community they deserve. We're a proud non-profit, a 501c3, built to protect those who protect us. We don't just serve our own. We help other non-profits reach their missions too, because together, we make the Shield stronger. Donate and help our cause, help their cause, because every act of kindness builds hope where the battle still rages inside. Join the mission. Donate today. Visit warriorshield.org, because heroes deserve a foundation as strong as their sacrifice.
Gun or center fire biathlon has been around for several years. I believe it mostly started in Texas. They're an absolute blast to do. It's a great challenge. It not only challenges your shooting abilities under stress, you know, when you're tired, but it challenges your gear and your setup. So it's a way for people to test, you know, their shooting abilities, their equipment, all in one scenario that is pretty much as real as you can make it for your average person.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Chris Swainhart, and this is GunStuff. GunStuff is dedicated to arming America, one law-abiding citizen at a time. We've got a great show lined up for you today. Hey, you just saw a cold open there. The gun run, that was done quite a few years ago, but we love these guys. They haven't stopped. They've been hitting it harder than ever. You're going to see more just in a little bit right here on today's show. Also, we're looking forward to seeing SAR USA. They've been with us from the very get-go, too. We love having those guys. And then also Night Fish and Precision Tritium. Now, if you're like me, you get a little confused. The news is coming fast and furious all over this great country of ours and on X, and I just saw this come across my desk. Gun Owners of America had a successful suit against Virginia. I had no idea that they had universal background checks in Virginia. What a crazy idea. Eric Pratt is here with us from Gun Owners of America. Eric, what on earth was going on, and why did you have to get involved?
Well, Democrats love control. And when they took over the legislature in Virginia, they passed universal background checks. So anybody who acquired a firearm, even privately, had to go through a government-mandated background check. And, you know, our victory here is huge. We are so grateful for GOA's attorneys who just did a fantastic job on this. To get universal background checks struck down in Virginia is a big deal because really, they're ineffective and they're very dangerous. They're ineffective because, look, bad guys still get guns very easily despite the background checks. I mean, the truth is that up to 99% of denials under the background check system are people who shouldn't be stopped but are done so mistakenly. But universal background checks are also unconstitutional since they treat our God-given Second Amendment rights like privileges. And of course, these checks are dangerous because they ultimately glean a registration list of everyone who acquires a firearm. And that's a dangerous first step to gun confiscation. Now, just to be clear, the judge's ruling was more narrow. He found the law as applied conflicted with other existing laws. And so he struck it down without really considering the constitutional implications of the law. But still, he struck down the law, and this is fantastic news for Virginians and our Second Amendment rights.
Well, you mentioned there in passing that can be the first step of starting a gun registry.
Yes.
In different countries that are more enlightened than the U.S., I'll say that, for example, perhaps Great Britain or Australia or other, like 1930s Germany, they took away guns from the populace to keep people safe. How did that work out for countries that don't support the Second Amendment like we do here in the U.S., Eric?
Well, tyrants love gun owner registration because when they want to get the guns, usually from targeted groups of people, they have the registration list. I mean, in some countries, they just simply did it crudely, going door to door and confiscating firearms. Cambodia did that, but you listed some countries, Germany, Australia, where they've actually used gun owner lists to confiscate firearms that people previously owned lawfully and hadn't committed crimes with. And by the way, even though we haven't on certainly a wide scale level seen gun confiscation in this country, we have seen it. New York City registered long guns for 30 years. And then when Mayor Dinkins came into office, he signed a ban on many of those long guns. Police used the registration list to make sure that people were complying and guns were confiscated. So we've even seen it on our shores. And no doubt if we hadn't fought Joe Biden's gun control on, much of the gun control that he threw at us. I mean, he was laying the groundwork for that. So anyway, all that to say, we're fighting this wherever we see it. And that's why we were so glad to have this victory in Virginia, where the judge ruled in our favor and struck down universal background registration checks.
Well, Eric, people that are on the other side of the coin, they always point to violence. So we want to eliminate violence. So let's use England as an example. I know you're pretty well read. How is the violence level in the streets of England? Has it reduced? It seems to me it's not really a safe place to be right now, and you have a lot of trouble getting a license to carry a firearm there. What's it like in England?
See, what you see happening is even if criminals can't get their hands on one type of object, they will simply shift to other objects. So, they start using knives to kill one another. And then the government says, okay, now we're going to ban knives. Quite honestly, we don't know how bad the crime and murder situation is in England, because they have come under fire from members of parliament, from the media, because they officially suppress the numbers. In fact, we saw this happening in this country with Joe Biden. Remember, I mean, he came under fire, and this was something that was part of the debate, the presidential debate. But the FBI wasn't using all the data because the police departments in this country, especially from some of the big cities, weren't reporting all the data. And so that tends to suppress the crime problem, and people think, oh, well, crime's not so bad. Well, other countries have been doing that for a long, long time. So it's always real dangerous to compare our crime data with other countries' data. But you're absolutely right. I mean, it's not safe. and criminals use other weapons, and then a tyrannical government says, well, then we'll just ban knives, and then we'll ban the next thing, whatever it is. It's silly.
But you guys went out there and you sued on behalf of, it's not just Virginians. This is what one state does, the other states will try to follow. Now, you guys did this. You've got more cases coming on. That's the thing that shocked me in the last week. I've been hearing all kinds of things that you guys are working on. What are some of the others?
Oh, my goodness. Well, we are, some of the things we're doing in conjunction with Department of Justice on the same team. In other cases, we're sadly on opposite sides. Just to give you some examples, some of the things that DOJ is doing good, they've argued against Illinois' semi-auto ban in federal court, and that was in part our case that we're involved with challenging Illinois' ban. We also have an amicus in Hawaii's. They had very severe restrictions on concealed carry, and we've been opposing that. And DOJ came in, and they are helping with us because they filed an amicus brief in opposition to Hawaii's law. Sadly, there are several cases where we're on the other side, and one of the cases was a recent one, a case that is now going has been on appeal to the Supreme Court. Well, the DOJ is supporting this case out of Montana, where Montana police went into a home without a warrant and they shot an armed homeowner who, by the way, had not been accused of committing a crime. It was kind of like a welfare type check. And the police claimed it was an emergency, that they had to go in, even though they stood around an hour outside. And even though the average warrant in this country is approved in 3 minutes, they still went in, guns a-blazing, without a warrant, and shot him. And let me tell you, if the DOJ is supporting Montana's case, of course, Montana is saying, hey, we were justified in doing this. If the DOJ wins this, then you'll hardly ever see police get a warrant before they go in. So this has very important Second Amendment and Fourth Amendment implications, because everything will become an emergency. So that's a case that GOA is weighing in on. It's a very important case. And, it's a shame that we're having to fight the DOJ on some of these issues.
So, Eric, we're out of time. We appreciate you spending some time with us today. Tell our viewers before you go how they can participate and support the gun owners of America, please.
Absolutely. Well, people can follow me on X at Eric M. Pratt, and that's Eric with a CH, an unusual spelling, I grant you, Eric M. Pratt. But go to our website at gunowners.org and get our free email alerts that'll keep you up to speed on the important things that are going on Second Amendment related.
All right. Thanks so much, Eric. And thanks to the folks at Gun Owners of America. And I'd like to encourage each of you to head on over there and be a part of the action. There's more to come from GunStuff.
The next generation Gerson double stack Witness 2311 takes the 1911 design to the next level. Compatible with many 1911 slides, barrels, and parts, the Witness 2311 series is not a wolf in sheep's clothing double stack like much of the competition. Don't be fooled by the words double stack. Get a Witness 2311 for a true evolution of a 1911 double stack with match grade features. Find yours starting at just $749. To learn more, visit eaacorp.com.
Hey, welcome to the show, Scott and Ursula. Ursula, you're glad to have you back here.
Thank you.
And Scott, you were out there competing this week, weren't you, Scott?
Yeah. Went out and competed this week at Hunter's Moon, and came back home, got some surgery, so now I'm off my feet for a week or two, and then be right back at the training.
Are you my boot buddy?
Yeah, you got one too? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you still have your boot?
Yeah.
Oh, we're boot buddies.
Sorry,
all right.
boot buddy.
Yeah.
Boot buddies.
Yeah. If you're wearing the orthopedic boot, you have a boot buddy. Like
Yeah,
that's how that works.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
That's my boot buddy.
Yeah. And we've been telling folks everywhere about our new website. Head on over to GunStuff.tv. Fire up your adventure and become part of the shooting sports, because you can actually compete just like Scott and just like Ursula. And if you go there, you can check out a calendar of events. There are all kinds of events in your neighborhood. You can search them, and they're all there for you. Now, let's see here. I've got some footage of Ursula, I think. Yeah, here we go, Ursula. You know, what are we
she's
looking
competing
at?
in the boot.
So
All right.
this particular stage, I was like,
Yeah.
it's flat, so I don't have to I'm not going to struggle too much on it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to shoot this stage. My stage plan for this, if I was actually competing in this particular one, I would actually run it the exact same way, all pistol. But you had your options between shotgun or pistol, or a combination of both. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot it all pistol. I want to see how long it takes me. So the boot does kind of impede a bit. So yeah, I shot that stage probably twice as long as I would have if I was able to run.
There's the boat lady.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
Yep, that looks like me trying to get something to drink out of the fridge. Yep.
Oh man, it's the worst if you're not used to being like sitting still or just stable for a bit. You're like, oh man. So a lot of people posting their videos of their competitions and stuff, and I'm just sitting at home just all bummed out because I can't go shoot. And I'm just like,
I'm going to shoot anyways.
I'm gonna shoot anyways. Just a
Hey,
little
we're
bit.
loving it. And Ursula, it won't be too long. You'll be back.
Yes.
You're preparing for the world shoot.
I am.
And so we want to make sure you have a great recovery. So don't.
Yep. I'm not going to push my luck. I'm actually listening to my doctor, unlike Scott. So.
Yeah. Hey, you know, we have a lot of giveaways on the show. And just to tell you folks, if you make some comments during the show, I'll tell you a little bit more about some of the giveaways as the show progresses. We are giving away this GTL22. Now, you have to have a Glock. So make a comment. Make sure you make a comment and say, hey, I've got a Glock and I'd like that light.
Yes.
And I think, you know, it could be heading your way. Light laser
I don't know. It might be a relic. How the way everything with Glock is going. You might want to keep this. It might be a collector's item later.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Our featured firearm here, briefly, we've got it right here in the studio. In fact, let me see here. I think you can see it. By the way, it comes with a holster and everything. Scott, tell our viewers a little bit about this Kimber Micro.
Yeah, so this is the Kimber 9 RTC, and the RTC stands for ready to carry. It's a 9mm stainless slide, aluminum frame, fiber optic front sight, white dots in the rear. It's about 6 inches long, weighs about 15 ounces. This is just like an everyday carry pistol. 3-inch stainless barrel. It's match grade and comes with 2 7-round mags and a holster, so that way you're ready to go. It's checkered rosewood grips and has an extended beaver tail. So that's the I had a chance to shoot one of these and I really liked it. It was fantastic and it was really dependable. I didn't have a single issue, jam, nothing with it. This is a really good concealed carry firearm. Yep.
Ursula,
I'm saying because
you got 30 seconds, Ursula.
Because one thing I found on a lot of these guns, so smaller 1911 type of guns that I noticed, is that sometimes their thumb safety is usually so shallow that you cannot take it off safe with your thumb. And this one's actually still robust enough, but still have a low profile where you can still do it with your thumb. And that's what that was for. The trigger feels pretty good. Your standard iron sights, they look like they're kind of, if you're the old head, kind of a Novak style. The mags do have pinky extensions, so if you have giant meat hooks like I do, you don't have to worry about that pinky just dangling off over there.
Hey, we're going to have to leave it there, guys. We're out of time.
This is good.
GunStuff price. Hey, this is a special price, $4.99, and we just got a few of them at that price. So head on over there. There's more to come from GunStuff. Welcome to the show from the Gun Run US, the Gun Run US. What is that, Ellis? Tell our viewers, because we saw some of it at the beginning of the show. Tell our viewers what we got.
The Gun Run's a center fire biathlon, also known as a run and gun, where you basically run like a 5K, 10K trail run, something like that, and you carry your rifle, pistol, and all your ammo and everything you need to do the match along with you along the route. So it's a great opportunity to test your gear, test your marksmanship under stress in a real-world environment.
Now we saw Ursula. You were competing. Tell her what's the style of your competition that you hit.
That was multi-gun, basically. Not as much running as what's in the run gun, or excuse me, the gun run. Not as much running. That particular match was all natural terrain, very similar to three gun. I would say three guns would be more likely. What Scott did the week after I did was more like the gun run.
Yeah, and we like it, Ellis, because it really tests people's skills, doesn't it, Ellis?
Absolutely. I think, any competition is great. I always say people need to get out and do a competition. It doesn't matter if it's IDPA, three-gun, multi-gun, you name it. Just go and do it because it makes you a better shooter. But this style of competition gives a whole other added element where you're physically stressed. You don't get stage previews or walkthroughs.
Oh, wow.
And you don't have a little buggy with an umbrella on it and your drinks and all your guns and stuff on there. You're actually carrying your equipment, so it's a much more quote unquote realistic experience that you can get. And I think the Second Amendment exists not just to protect your family at home from criminals or something like that. It's to protect America from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And George Mason said, "Who's the militia? It's everyone." Mm-hmm. So if you're going to be a responsible gun owner in America, I think you do need to get out there and test yourself and become, the most well-trained member of society to protect our country.
So
the thing I love about these is that you don't get any preview. You show up to a match, you get your gear on, you get a safety brief, and then you take off running. You run for a while, get yourself worked up, physically exhausted. Then you get up to stage, you get a safety brief, and then you go. You usually can't even get the safety brief in the same place that the start line is, so you don't see the targets. You don't get a lot of. Then you come around through the bushes or through the corner, and then you got to figure it all out right now. And that's the fun part that I enjoy so much about this, and the amount of time and effort that you guys put into this is amazing, and the fact that you do it is fantastic. So I just want to say thank you for all that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott. And I can say from experience, I've seen Scott shoot. He's not bad, man. You got to watch out for that guy.
He's good. I totally want to do a team match. I don't even care if it's a sniper setup. I don't care. I want to do a team match with Scott once we're both healed up.
Hey, what's this? We're outdoors at night? What's going on?
Yeah, we do individual matches, we do team matches, we do night matches, night team matches, and even matches where you're doing land navigation and then shooting. So we've got several different types throughout the year. So
before we got on this video, the dude that was shooting with the lever action, that's right there. That's amazing. That is freaking dope. Yeah. That is
we did it.
Dude, I like him.
We did a lever act. We don't have divisions or classes or anything like that, like other events, but sometimes we'll do a little side challenge or something like that with a bolt or lever or AK or something like that. So we have a little internal competition, but you can basically run whatever you want as long as it's not a 22 or a Magnum or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, the lever actions, they do work, and you can hit targets out pretty darn far. Mm-hmm. But the loading on the clock is pretty frustrating.
Hey, look at this. You
awesome.
could do a boot run and gun. Did you see that?
Somebody called it the boot and shoot.
The boot and shoot.
Somebody called it the limp and gun. And the comments are blowing up right now about both of us being in boots. Yeah. Chris, you need a boot. You need to join us.
Yeah. No thanks. No thanks.
No thanks.
Yeah, no. The price of entry to that club is much too high. Much too high. Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool picture right there.
Yeah, it is.
No,
that is awesome.
There we go.
So how often do you run these matches?
So 8 events a year, almost once a month. We kind of take a break in the summer and around the holidays. But throughout the rest of the year, we're in South Carolina, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. We've done a couple events at a few places in West Virginia or Alabama, but those haven't been a reoccurring thing.
So I know somebody's going to ask. All right, so for the entire race or the entire match, is there a time cap like there are for half marathons, things like that?
No. since we're usually doing our 5 or 10K, something like that, and you can walk the whole event, it may take you 2 or 3 hours, but we kind of schedule the run order in a way that accommodates people and allows everyone to get through the event. The one exception is the land navigation match, because that one can be anywhere from 15K to even further if you're really bad at land nav. And so we've had a couple people be out on the course for like 6 to 8 hours on the course.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can walk it, and so in general, no time cap except for the land nav match.
Okay.
How many people participate in this? Well, like, for example, I don't know if you have an idea of how many people want to get involved but can't, but how many usually get registered and do come?
We've been super blessed at the gun run where basically every event sells out in under 5 minutes, so there's definitely demand for more events. Yeah. However, this being, we're not the only event like this. Like I said, I have a list on my website of the other ones I know about, so I say look for ones in your general area. Hopefully you can come to the gun run, but if you can't, try one of these other ones. But I don't want to get burned out trying to do this in every town and village across the country every weekend. It's just a lot of work to pull off and stuff like that.
It is a lot of work to he's got to get the volunteers in. They got to go out, set up the course, set up the stages, carry steel out to hilltops and through marshes and ponds and everything. So I want to say thank you for taking your time to do that for all of us.
Of course, Scott. But the number of people in general, like a team match, will have 50 paid teams, and of course a bunch of ROs. So somewhere in the 100 to 120 people.
So to somebody who wanted to get started for the first time, like they just like, hey, this sounds like it might be my cup of competition tea. Like, how would they what would they need?
If you go to the website, we've got a little blog section. We've got a great article there that talks about basic gear you need. The key thing to remember is you don't actually need a lot of gear, and you kind of need to do your first event with what you have to understand then what you need. Sometimes people go out, they spend a bunch of money on gear, and then they do an event and they go, it doesn't really work exactly for me. But you'll need probably an AR-15, 9mm pistol of some kind. You need a good holster with good retention for it, some mag pouches, and that's basically it. I've seen guys do the event with just putting their gear in a backpack and running along with it, and then we've got guys who come and they wear kind of more tactical garb, a chest rig or something like that. Mm-hmm. But you can see in some of these videos, people are kind of a basic belt setup and a rifle and pistol, and that's about it.
Okay. So I see a comment on here. It costs money to put these on, and you guys are putting a lot of effort into it. How much does it cost to participate?
What's your match fee?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the match too, because some are smaller, more specialized. But you could basically, say $125 to $150 per person.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, and
we deliberately try to keep it low so that your everyday American can come to do it, and we don't attract the wrong kind of people in some ways when you have a really high match fee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Ursula, there's lots of these events all over the country. Where can you find out more about these events?
Because I think somebody just told me about the new calendar that's on the GunStuff.tv website.
Yeah, exactly. And we want you guys searching it. And if you want to put your own, like we're working hard on Ellis to get his events on there. We want to have every event that's available. Now, we've got about 30 seconds left, Ellis, and I got to say, we love having you on. We've got to come out. Let's all three of us come out and participate in one of these. Tell our viewers, we got 30 seconds, how they can learn more about your event.
Go to thegunrun.us. It's the main website with all the information for all the matches, and then maybe follow us on Instagram or Facebook. We are at GunRunUS.
All right. Hey, well, thank you so much, LS. I'll follow up with you in the next few days, get you on our calendar. Yep. We appreciate you being here on our show, and we're loving it, and it means a lot to us that you're here with us today.
Yep.
Yeah,
Stick around. There's more to come from GunStuff.
But the one thing I can tell you about my family, it's bred into us. We're not quitters.
is Facts and Firearms.
Welcome to the show, SAR USA. Miranda, thank you for being here today. Appreciate you being here and all that you've done with GunStuff through the years. It's been fun.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Some people may not know much about SAR. They might not know that you're one of the largest manufacturers in the whole wide world. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I think that's the ironic thing is oftentimes since I've started and I've asked people, do you know who SAR USA is? Or even our parent company, SAR Samaz, they don't know about our deep abilities in terms of we're a super manufacturer, advanced technologies. We don't only make just polymer handguns, we also make our SARBOT, we make cannons, we make various different things. And so we actually are currently going through a rebrand to go back to SAR Samaz. So we're going to look and represent more of a global look and feel than what we're currently doing.
All right. So, hey, that's news. Hearing it right here. And you always have got some great firearms. Scott's got one he's going to show us here in a little bit.
So mad. I am so jealous right now. So jealous.
Yeah, Scott, what are you looking at there, Scott?
So this is the SAR K12. This was a long time ago, years ago. SAR was on the show, and I bought this model and I shot it, and it's great. I've made a few adjustments to it, and I break a lot of things when I run. This gun's held up really nice, but that's the gist of it. I mean, I've got a lot of rounds through that one.
Dude, I so want that gun. Like, it is, just feels so nice.
Yeah.
So here we have the SAR 9 compact, or SOCOM compact. This is where in my opinion, soon as they wanted to get their name out a little bit more in the U.S. market, they're like, bam, in your face, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, this is the gun.
Well, and I would say for the SOCOM, especially these days, it's of more interest to people because depressors are becoming more popular. And with the tax stamp going away, we're going to really lean into the SOCOM line because people have that ability to use a suppressor.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
should we be seeing you soon at those lovely events called CanCon?
Yes, we will be there.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Dude, so awesome. It was actually one of my favorite events. So...
You know, I seen this guy holster here. A lot of your firearms come with kits that actually have pre-built holsters. Now, do you still have those available? Because those have been very popular in the past, Miranda.
We do have them, and we're also starting to lean into exploring that more for 2026. We do realize that our competitors, that's one thing that they're adding that value in terms of whether it comes to the optic or whether it comes to the holster or night sights or, different accessories.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you got a holster that's pre-made for your gun, you don't have to worry about, well, I'm going to order a gun, now I'm going to have to look for a holster.
But the biggest thing is that price point.
Yes.
It's the price point. Like, so most people, they think that, low price point means low quality. And I like companies like SAR that are like, nah, like, no, you can actually have great quality for a very reasonable price.
Well, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're also leaning into the rebrand, just because we do have really high quality and we have a great price point. And so it's also tying in our history and people understanding, we've been around since 1880 for 5 generations. So if there's anything that we know guns and metallurgy and all the things, to set us apart. Yeah. Also adding our endurance tests.
Yeah. So one, I know you guys' endurance test is a great. You guys, it fired so many rounds to that thing and it kept running. But are you guys going to be bringing like other models that are in the overseas portion? Are they going to be start being sold over to the United States, like your AR platform and stuff like that?
So we're talking about that, and then also we have some new things coming up during SHOT Show. So you'll have to stay tuned to see all the
nice
stuff.
We already talked about some GunStuff exclusives. If you're watching, just letting you know.
I'm like, wait for it. It's exciting. So I'm really excited.
Miranda, what are we looking at here?
So we're looking at the SOCOM line. So I think one of the things that really sets us apart, and we haven't really talked enough about, is our interchangeable back straps and side panels. So that's the number one thing that we beat a lot of our competitors is the side panels. So they come standard with medium side panels. on them. However, in the box comes small, medium, and large. So people have the ability to customize their grip, and we've molded over 1,000 people's hands to come up with this.
It's not just the back.
It's not just a back. Yeah,
but the
your palm
size.
swell too. Yeah.
Nobody does
Yes.
that.
No.
I've seen
That's
a lot
what
of
I'm
guns come
saying.
through here, and I've never seen it.
For more customized
that's-
fit. Love it.
Well, and I think that's huge, especially for somebody like myself. I have smaller hands. So, in terms of finding a firearm to where it feels comfortable in the ergonomics, so this really checks the box when it comes to that. Additionally, you have the threaded barrel, and then you have the suppressor height night sights as well, the Picatinny rail, and the flared magwell.
Yeah, and I think the threaded barrel options are going to be, much more,
Yes.
much more easy to move here in the near future with the suppressor law is going to change, and be able to get them. So I think you're going to see just about everybody's going to start buying suppressors up, and you're going to have a way to attach them. So that's great.
So
I think that's a huge thing.
So question. So while we're looking at this SOCOM as well, is the magazine release interchangeable? So it could be ambi?
Correct.
Yo, so lefties, if I have one more lefty
Yes.
in the comments, I was like,
Yes.
oh, that gun's not
Yes.
for me. Yeah,
Yep.
bro, it is.
Yes.
That is
Well,
awesome.
and like I said, even in terms of the side panels, so it's like I think that we are kind of fixing a lot of things that people are, looking for answers for that they can't find with other competitors of ours.
Now, on the front of this gun is not a suppressor, and if it is, it's the shortest suppressor in the world. Hats off to you.
Yes, no, that is our Dawson comp. So we started working with them, so that helps with felt recoil. So it's really popular. It's launched more towards September, but we started putting more of a lean towards it.
Hey, with that on your gun, Ursula, isn't that going to help you stay on target?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Way easier and then way faster follow-up shots. So I have a question about the optic. So is it, for your optic-ready stuff, is already cut? Is that cut for a particular footprint?
RMSC.
Okay, cool.
So you can throw an RMSC right down on it, or if you need to change over, like in the photo over here, we see Vortex.
A different plate.
You just got to
Yeah.
get a different mounting plate for it.
Correct, yes.
And the RMSC, I'm assuming that'll give you the lowest mount possible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like having that extra
looks
blade
good.
on the trigger, and also I think it's good to have that extra color on there. I mean, it gives you an idea of the safety feature. You pick it up, you know what you got, right?
Yeah, but
Yes.
rules of firearm safety, there's that. But at the same time, it just looks good. Like, that is a
Exactly.
rule. It's supposed to look good.
Yeah, exactly. We want it looking good and functioning well. You guys have done some tests. These things shoot forever and never have a lost round.
Well, and that's the thing for us is we have 90,000 round tests, 120,000 round tests, sand, dirt, mud, everything. We put our guns through more torture tests than I think many people do.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that was the big news last time you guys were on. You had just conducted some firearms testing, and you greatly outnumbered the amount of shots needed for the standard firearms metrics and stuff like that. And and they were still going. And last we heard, it was like, well, we're just going to keep taking it until it breaks. But we never really heard much on when it did. But the thing is, the amount of rounds that went through it without a malfunction was amazing. So it's obviously for good design.
I think somebody just not name dropped, but kind of sort of name dropped on, what was this? Not X.
So Miranda, we
What's
are
X?
here at the end. We got less than 30 seconds. Tell our viewers where they can learn more about SAR firearms. Now I'm going to say SARUSA.com, but that might be changing. But what is it for now?
SARUSA.com.
All right. So you head on over there, and can they buy directly from you? Probably not. Or they just have to go through a dealer.
Dealer.
All right. Hey, well, I know of a dealer right here at gunstuff.shop. So look no further. Hey, thanks for being on our show, Miranda. We'll have you back again very, very soon. And I got to talk to you about getting some of these 2026 products.
Yeah, so we're going to do some
I can't wait to see what's coming up.
I can't wait. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Absolutely got you. Hey, thanks for being on our show. Appreciate it. Everything. Hey, welcome to the show, Night Fishing. Now, if you're listening on podcast, which some of you are or will be soon, it's not vision, it's night fishing. And here to explain the difference is Rachel from Night Fishing. Glad to have you on our show. Rachel, you've been great hanging in here, waiting for us.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us on.
So tell our viewers what night fishing is all about, please.
Yeah, so we make everything with tritium, and that's pretty common throughout all of the companies. And with night fission, it's a play on the word fission, F-I-S-S-I-O-N. Our company name is spelled with a single S, and that sometimes gets everybody into trouble. And then also the alternative is that people think that we make night vision. And that is not the case, at least not right now. It's not necessarily in the plan for 26. Although I would love it because, of course, I mean, listen, if I work for a company that has night vision in its array, I'm definitely going to do what I can to get some. But the reality is we make unbelievably great night sights. And I say that because just like Scott, I was a person that had night vision sights on my guns before I worked for this company because I sought out the best that I could. Shoot quite a bit, I teach, and that means that I demand quite a bit of my equipment, and so it was a natural choice for me. And along with night sights, we've just started to produce plates, optic plates for pistols, so we're starting to branch out beyond tritium.
Nice.
And tritium now, we don't have to worry about it from a hazard standpoint now, do we? It is completely safe. Ursula probably was not paying attention in physics class when they were talking about it. But this tritium, it's a proven thing. And how long does it last?
Forever.
Yeah, so
it's like...
Yeah, right.
My answer is
I mean,
forever.
listen, Ursula's right. Up to a certain point, there is a point at which it does have a half-life, which when that happens, as the name implies, it glows half as much.
Yeah.
But we do guarantee our sights for about between 16 and 17 years. We put a tremendous amount of tritium in our vials. They're larger than what many folks use, and we source out the highest grade possible because among the suite of companies that we have, we also are Kamenga as well, and we supply the U.S. military with a lensatic compass. I know you guys had a gentleman on before that had a land nav course, so I'm sure some folks are already using our tritium, but it has, it is not a new game for us, and certainly, to address your question before, absolutely 100% safe. Nobody's putting themselves in any danger. But one of the newer products that we have growing into 26, I mean, we released these in the middle of the summer. Well, I hope everybody was getting out to the range in all of that beautiful weather. But we do now produce plates, optic plates, and they're 17.4 aerospace grade steel plates. We were not interested in getting in this game with anything other than the best, trying to maintain that quality level that we put into our sights.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And there's some, when I say last forever, when I was first into firearms and all that good stuff, of course, everybody's like, oh, you need night sights. Cool. And also being in law enforcement, I worked graveyard, so it sounded like a good idea at the time. And that particular company's, I would say their stuff started to dim out around the 5-year mark.
Yeah,
So-
the 5-year thing is a real thing.
Yeah. And I'm just like,
What is the half-life of night fishing?
So the half-life, that what we guarantee our sites to glow for is truly between 16 and 17 years, because we do source the highest grade. There are different grades of tritium, just like there are different grades of many different things out there, and you can source a low grade of tritium. But the 5-year thing that Ursula is highlighting has been a common refrain with some of our competitors' products, and it actually has less to do with the tritium that they're using and more to do with their sealing process. So this is a gas, guys, so it does have to remain enclosed. And if anything leaks, again, it does not have any effect on your body. This is a completely different grade of radioactive material. It's not the A level stuff. This is the B stuff, meaning like you can find it in bananas. You can find it in a certain portion of of our atmosphere. Yeah, it's a fascinating jump.
We're glowing in the dark.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure folks can go and they can start to Google this stuff. We do talk a little bit about it, but primarily it's just like Ursula highlighted. It has been a common situation for folks to be able to put night sights on pistols, especially for duty grade stuff or any kind of serious carrier of a firearm. This is a defensive tool, and you want to ensure that it's going to be useful in all light conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't have something like this, you're out of luck at night, aren't you?
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, and one of the things that just hit me is that I've been using your products for over 35 years. You know, in the military with the compasses and everything, and so I forgot that you guys made the military compass, and I'm like, I've been using that forever. You know?
It might be time to get that tritium replaced. But
I'm sure they replaced them with newer ones. But the thing is, that was issued my first piece of equipment that was made by Night Vision, 35 years ago, and you guys are still at it, going strong.
We're still at it. Yeah. We just picked that contract back up
going
again.
Back to the night sights that I was using, like I always did a gear check at the beginning of my shift, and my gun being part of that. So I literally took my gun out of my holster. And I always like kind of capped to see where it's looking at. And it was like way dimmer. And I'm like, are my eyes going bad? So of course I got like my squad mate, like, hey, look at this. Can you see it? This looks kind of dim. And I'm like, man, I hope tonight's not the night that something happens. I have to use my gun because I'm going to be in court and with all the questions.
And it's not at the range. Things have gone horribly wrong. And the last thing I want to do is go, oh, I hope everything's working right. And so on top of that, I hope that my sights are, crystal clear, et cetera, or that my plate is attached and my optic is performing to the grade that I need it to. And a little bit of what you guys are showing right now is our promo video for our plates that we had a very good time with. And we were trying to reinforce the idea of like, listen, we're not going to introduce another product into the marketplace that we have to apologize for. No one wants that.
Yes.
So Rachel, we're here at the end. We got 15 seconds left.
Yeah.
Tell our viewers and our podcast listeners how they can learn more about night fishing. And I tell you what, you've just whetted my appetite. Go ahead.
Just what?
Well, I hope that I inspire everybody to learn a little bit more about us and everything that we make, to include our plates, as what we're seeing on screen right now. And so if you do want to see this video, it's full length, is available on our YouTube channel. But truly, the easiest way to find everything about night vision is to visit us at our website, which is nightvision.com, and that's spelled NIGHTFISION.com. And there you can watch all these videos. You can catch up on our sites. You can learn about our plates and generally get to know what we offer you guys, which, again, we work very hard to make sure is the best that is possible.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much, Rachel. We'll see you next time. And you guys need to head on over and check out nightvision.com.
The headrest safe is quick and easy to use. Some may even call it a game changer. The headrest safe acts as a safety net, protecting your belongings while keeping them out of sight and out of bounds of others, serving as security while also keeping your valuables in bounds. That's what the headrest safe provides for me. Game, set, match.
Next week, we've got another great run and gun, Old 18 Defense. You're going to love it. TNW is announcing a giveaway, and boy, I tell you what, you want to be a part of this one. Be there, and then also Boar Products, all here next week. But until that time, get your stuff from GunStuff.
That's brutal, but it's a blast. Brutal and a blast.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Chris Swainhart, and this is GunStuff. GunStuff is dedicated to arming America, one law-abiding citizen at a time. We've got a great show lined up for you. You saw a little bit right there in the cold open. Old 18 Defense. Stick around, you're going to want to see that. TNW is with us, More Products, and also Sheila Matthews from Able Child is back. And she's here to help explain to me. We're always interested at this time of the show. We're talking about the Second Amendment. And it wasn't too long ago that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. That ties in a lot with what we have to do right here in GunStuff. And Sheila, to shed a little bit more light on this, I apologize, and I'm going to apologize to you right now because I don't know really anything about that shooter. I've been trying to find out so we could talk about it today, but I can't find it. What's going on with the investigation? Am I just confused, or are they withholding information, Sheila?
Yes, thank you for having Able Child on again. It is such an honor to be with gun owners and to protect the Second Amendment. So basically, Able Child has been working to try to uncover the toxicology report, the autopsy, and of course the ballistics report, which would eliminate a lot of the conspiracies that are happening online regarding who's responsible. But we do not know much about the parents, which I'm very interested in, of Tyler Robinson, where his mom worked for the behavioral health provider for the state of Utah. So we've been urging the Governor Cox to come out and explain to us how this mother was involved with a $750,000 mental health, behavioral health grant. She was a coordinator for the state, and her son is the one that is being accused of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So that's where we're at. The documents are being withheld. We wrote an article about Governor Cox. We're very concerned about the military aspect of his involvement in Utah. It's one of the largest Hill Air Force Base. And we're wondering, if you can't secure the university and provide security for a very well-known speaker that was in your state, how you can be making these deals with, vendors of the military is concerning for us. So since the last time I talked with you, Fox News in Utah 2 hours ago has FOIA'd the documents of the University of Utah to find out when they started to, provide security for the event. And it's been released that it started in July, that they knew that Charlie Kirk was going to be at the university.
The thing that bothers me about that security, and then I want to rewind and talk about that mental health aspect, is from what I understand, there was a walkway not too far from the event, like right adjacent the post to the event, and then there was a building right there. Why that wasn't secured, I got no idea. And the other thing you just touched on is the shooter's own mother was supposed to be involved in the healthcare professionals. What does that say? Do you think that the healthcare professionals today, I call them professionals, do you think they really understand the impact of psychiatric effects on gun violence? What do you think, Sheila? I think there's a lot more to it than just pointing fingers at black guns and so forth.
Well, we've been through this before, and basically you're exactly right. The behavioral health industry is $1 billion industry. And in the state of Utah, we know that Tyler Robinson's roommate was transitioning to a man to a woman, or whatever that process is, through the psychiatric industry that falls under psychiatry. And so we also have the Butler assassination attempt of President Trump, in which those parents were behavioral health experts. So there's a trend here. And as you know, I started way back with the Sandy Hook massacre in the state of Connecticut, where guns were blamed and legislation was passed. I sat in public hearings with gun owners, and the state had already named it gun prevention without getting all the information about the psychiatrist that was treating Adam Lanza with a cocktail of psychiatric drugs that are known to increase the risk of suicide and violence.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And, you know, you hear about all of this nonsense. There was a big release within a couple of days of all these love letters and the text information between the two roommates. And I'm not buying any of it, because I have some of my younger members of the family, they text me. It doesn't look anything like these. They look like Shakespearean drama excerpts rather than text messages. I don't believe anything that we're being told. We appreciate that you getting on top of this mental health aspect. Now, this has been a history of Able Child. Tell our viewers how they can support Able Child, because it doesn't come free, and we appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you so much. They could go to ablechild.org. We have a petition on the top where we're calling for federal hearings into the link between psychiatric drugs and violence. You could do that for absolutely free. And then, of course, you can support us financially. We are not funded by the federal government or the state government, and there gives us the opportunity to speak truth to power. So we do need your financial support, and we certainly need your signatures to submit to the White House.
I love the fact that you're working on this petition. You've been working on this for a long time. Hey, if you folks are watching either now live or in syndication, head on over to Able Child. Sign up for that, because surely, Sheila, doesn't Congress really need to look into this connection between mental health and violence? What do you think?
Absolutely. I think that Governor Cox should be held accountable for the security, and we need to focus on the facts in the case. But yes, we need federal hearings. And, you know, GunStuff Television has been so kind to Able Child, and we thank you so much for your support.
Well, we'll have you back on again. And unfortunately, there's never any shortage of these type of events, and they're not really listening to you. But hey, we are, and we're going to tell more people about you. All right?
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Hey, you folks stick around. There's more to come from GunStuff.
The next generation Gerson double stack Witness 2311 takes the 1911 design to the next level. Compatible with many 1911 slides, barrels, and parts, the Witness 2311 series is not a wolf in sheep's clothing double stack like much of the competition. Don't be fooled by the words double stack. Get a Witness 2311 for a true evolution of a 1911 double stack with match-grade features. Find yours starting at just $749. To learn more, visit eaacorp.com.
Hey, let's welcome to our show our co-hosts here, and we appreciate you guys being with us. We've got Scott and Maggie. Maggie, you're back. And we're jumping right in here showing this. This is our newest website. And Maggie, we've been talking about the shooting sports. I know you're familiar with our calendar. Tell people a little bit about what we're trying to do here.
Well, one of the biggest questions I always get from everybody is, how do I get started in competition? How do I get involved? How do I find more information? And unfortunately, there's just never been a centralized source for me to send people to. It's always just kind of been scattered across the internet, and people have to write down 5 different websites if they want to find out about competition or where to go. And you and I have been brainstorming and saying, wouldn't it be great if we just put it one place for everybody to come and find and make it easy for people to get out and go to the range and go shooting and find their local match and get involved in the shooting sports. And that's what you've done. So I'm really, really excited about this.
Well, appreciate that kind words, Maggie. And Scott, we've got thousands of events. Who knew there were so many? Scott.
Yeah, there are so many events, shooting events going on across the country, and it's just so hard to keep track of them. So it's just great that we have this one consolidated place. Now we still have to populate it. We still have to get them all on, but still, this is a step in the right direction.
Well, so far we got about 1,600, somewhere between 1,600 and 2,000 events. You can search it by your location, whether it's going to cost you money. You can drill down on it. It'll give you all the information. And on the next time I'll show you that slide, you'll be able to see all the details so you can find out where to go. It's a closely kept secret, I think. It's not like golf. Anybody can find out where the next golf match is, but finding out where these events are. And here you are, Scott. What are we doing here?
Yeah, so this is just some training that we do. So every month, a group of us get together, we go out, we shoot, and we train, and we pick a different aspect of shooting that we focus on during that training, so that over the course of the year, when we meet every month, over the course of the year, we'll cover most aspects. And what we're doing here, this is slow fire precision, and so I don't even know if you can really even see the dots on the targets right here. There's just little dots, and we're trying to take the dots out. And the thing is that just gives us a chance to slow down, because we're usually trying to shoot fast. We're trying to shoot as quick as we can. We're shooting on the move and all these different things. And this training off this was just all precision. And so that's what we did. And we do this once a month. And I suggest that everyone gets out and shoots, with some other people. On this one here, we're shooting cards, and we're trying to shoot the center out of the card. That's a little club or whatever that you got to shoot you got to shoot it out, and you only have like 5 shots, so this is what we do, but we do this all the time to make ourselves better. So I suggest you get out there and do the same.
Hey, now, Maggie, I don't want to take issue with Scott, but I'm going to right now. Think of Scott's experience, a Marine sniper, and then, of course, 15 years as an air marshal. He's good at the long end and also the short end. Surely such an appearance in a video like this is just a token appearance to gin up enthusiasm for the shooting sport, because Scott doesn't need this kind of practice, does he? What do you think, Maggie?
Of course he does. Of course he does. People always ask that to me. It's so funny because people say, like, why are you practicing? Aren't you good yet? You've been doing this for a long time. But I try to remind people, I'm like, Tiger Woods gets up every single day and practices golf. Every single day he gets up and he practices that swing. You never stop trying to be better. You never stop striving to improve. You never stop analyzing your technique. You never stop just reevaluating what it is that you're doing. And this drill right here is one of the best things that you can do to make sure that your gun is sighted in, to make sure that you have trigger control, to make sure that you can make that precise shot. It's great for competition. It's great for self-defense. It's great for so many different applications. And it's really cool. If people are struggling to wonder what to do when they go to the range, right here is one drill that you can do, if not once a month, once a week. It's great to do.
In the news recently, we heard that Glock was discontinuing a lot of their firearms. And Scott, why is that?
Well, the thing is they're trying to avoid as much litigation as they can, because people have made little switches that go on the back of the Glock where you take off the rear cover plate and put a little switch on there and it makes it fully automatic. So they're going to be modifying, they're going to be changing the gun itself so that those switches cannot be used, because they've been sued by over 10 states and God knows how many cities and how many individuals. So this is going to help them mitigate that. And and we want them to. These switches are not promoted by Glock. They haven't been made by Glock. This is just something someone's done. But the thing is, we want people to have the right to carry, the right to use your firearms, no matter what kind. But the thing is, we don't want manufacturers being run out of business over the lawsuits that come from it. So this is something that they have to do.
So Maggie, our featured firearm is one that is not being discontinued, as far as I can tell. It's the 43X. We've got just about 30 seconds. Tell us a little bit about this firearm. And it's very popular. I got it right here in the studio.
Sorry.
I was going to say it is a very popular gun, and as far as what we've heard in the news, they are not discontinuing the slimline Glocks, so the 43, the 43X. So it's a super popular gun. It's great that we get to keep this one. You've got a great price on it. I know I've heard just in my own local state and local areas that there is just a run on Glocks. Everybody is buying everything that they can with good reason. Like Scott said, we want this company to stay in business. We want them to thrive financially. They're doing what they need to do to mitigate some of the unfortunate circumstances of the lawsuits that they're being faced with. And so they're doing what they have to do. But in the meantime, people are buying up the product that they can. So if you like Glock, if you want to get your hands on one, now is the time to do it. They're a popular gun and they're a reliable gun. That is what they're known for. They are what you want to rely on when you really need something to rely on. That is what Glock is for.
I think we're going to leave it there, guys. We're happy that you guys are watching now. The GunStuff price on this one is $609, and I tell you what, the fit and finish on this is actually pretty incredible. Hey, welcome to the show, Old 18 Defense, and we had a great cold open. Zach, tell us a little bit about who is Old 18. We are really itching to find out.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate that. Old 18 Defense is basically just a really intense gut check in the form of a tactical biathlon. We travel around the country and we set up these 7 to 10 mile courses that have about 7 to 10 shooting stations all throughout. You're basically just being tested on your ability to self-sustain. So you bring all your ammo, you bring all your water. Once you start the course, you can't refit. It's all on your own. So if you have that kit at home that you're going to rely on when it hits the fan, come test it out with Old 18 Defense. You're going to know exactly how far you can get with what you think you have.
So, Chris, we saw earlier during our range segment, Scott was actually, it was sort of a slow motion drill, which is good, kind of really honing in. But you guys got something different, don't you, Chris?
Yeah, we know. No, we definitely do. It's completely different from that. Typically, bay range shooters don't do very well at our courses. Very strong on the bay, but when they come out, it's experienced to a different level. They're definitely not ready for what we've got going. We push them to different levels. It's basically all in my brain, where, however, I guess you could say mean I want to be, but we add in any implement that I choose. I mean, we'll drag a dummy, we'll drag a sked, we'll carry weights. We mess with everybody, man. It's I guess it's real world, I guess you could say. That's the best way to put it. You really don't know what you're getting into whatsoever. You have no idea how many rounds you need. You have no idea how far you're running. It's technically going to be anywhere from 7 to 12 miles, but you have no idea. It's 100% unknown. You don't know what you're doing. So all you know is it's going to suck, and you're going to get wet, you're going to get hot, and you're going to work, and we're going to push you. And I love to suffer, and I love watching people suffer. That's the best way I could put it.
I'm getting
That's what-
nervous listening to you.
I know. Just hear that. I love to suffer. And I'm like, yeah. The thing is, that's why I love these. So my thing is, I love running guns. I love all these because every single one that I go to, you run into different problems of something that you didn't bring, something you don't have, something that would really work, that you left behind because you were worried about weight or this, that, the other. And it's just figuring everything out and balancing out your gear and figuring out what you really need and what you really don't. That's what I love about these. These are fantastic.
It really does. It's all about growing people as competent individuals with the firearm. When there's a situation where you need a weapon, your heart rate's going to be jacked. So the best way to get people ready for that is to make them run 2 miles first and then engage a series of targets. And a lot of these guys, their first time, they're just horrible. But once they start to see the cracks in their own training, their own capability, that's when you really see the excitement in their eyes because they fix it and come back and crush the course. So it's wonderful to see people grow.
I had a question for you guys. So on your events, so a lot of people go through the military. A lot of people are in law enforcement and special teams and stuff like that. And a lot of people get training on how to do some of this stuff. But how many? So one of the questions I'm asking is, how many of your people have never been in the military or some kind of special training that come in and learn how to do it and do well?
And honestly, I'll take it. But we have a ton of people that are not veterans, never served, anything like that.
Yep.
2 of the 3 of our sponsored shooters, that one dude is a welder. He's super fit, great shooter. The other guy is he's a construction dude. And they're both, you can actually see him on the screen right now. His name's Kellen. He's national champion triathlete?
I thought it was world class.
Yeah, he's a world class triathlete.
Oh, wow.
Champion.
Yeah, so he's got the fitness side of it, and he had to learn the shooting along the way. But no, it's more common to see the non-veterans to do so damn good that Old 18 sees on a daily basis, honestly.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was asking, because one of the things I'm noticing is that people who haven't had specialized training are getting out there and they're picking it up really quick and they're doing excellent. And that's one of the things that I love about it is seeing all these different people from all these different walks of life getting out there and just going hard.
Maggie, I heard him talking about heart rate. Mm-hmm. As a national champion, when you're in high performance, does your heart rate ever elevate? Or you have ice water in your veins?
Well, that's a separate conversation if I have ice water in my veins. But it is, this style of competition is so interesting. A lot of times in USPSA or Bianchi or something like that, it is so precise. You're trying not to make, the slightest wrong move. If you step wrong with your foot, if you miss a shot, your game is over. You've lost the match. But something like this, I've not shot this particular competition, but I've shot this style before where you are dragging dummies and you are doing a lot of physical work, and it's no longer perfection. It's just trying to get through it, and it's not pretty in the moment and it doesn't feel good in the moment, but the satisfaction at the end of it, knowing that you accomplished something so physically taxing and so mentally taxing to get to the end of it and know that you survived, it really is thrilling. And it really is just something that gives you a lot of self-worth to know that you were able to accomplish it. And so it's cool. It's a totally different style of shooting, but it is so much fun. Even somebody like me who got really scared when you said 7 to 10 miles, it still sounds fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a long way. But do they have to run the whole way? Are they graded on how fast they go? How does it work, Chris?
Yeah, so you can go as fast as you want. If you want to be a competitor and you want to be at the top, you got to run as fast as possible. You got to move in between stages as fast as possible. We have a spectrum. We have anywhere from 82-year-old males, 71-year-old females. They don't move as fast. It's all good. We have different divisions, different classes. But if you want a trophy or you want to pick something good off the table, which is vast, we have a lot of great sponsors. But if you want to be at the top and get that OED trophy, you're going to have to move as fast as possible.
Is it kind of like a marathon? I mean, you've got your people that are definitely trying to cross the finish line and get their, their for, certain
100%.
time limit. But then you've got people who they're going to take 24 hours, but they're still going to cross the finish line.
100%. Yeah. So we have a division. It's the Mustangs, the top competitors. We have the world champion triathlete that's in there. He's one of the Mustangs. That list is very short for a reason, because it's not very fair. But, we have the battle ponies, which is the casual runners and the everyday competitors, the guys and girls that actually like to just walk and enjoy the scenery along the way. Yeah. It's all over the place. But yes, exactly like a marathon. You're just going to take 6 to 8 hours and finish it just because I want to and I need to.
Now, Zach, we've got about 15 seconds left. Tell our viewers how they can learn more about OED.
The best way to learn about OED is through social media channels, OE Defense on Instagram as well as Facebook, and you'll see all the links, all the hashtags, and all the things that help you stay connected with everybody else in the community. Just follow them, go down the rabbit hole. You're going to see what's going on, who's doing what, and how well. There's a lot of content creators out there that are basically just showing their breakdowns, all of that kind of stuff. So it's a really interesting and informative community. It's starting to grow analytically as well as competitively.
Hey, well, invite each of you to head on over to oedefense.com and then also follow me on social media. That's where you really get into the details.
But the one thing I can tell you about my family, it's bred into us. We're not quitters.
Facts and Firearms.
Welcome to the show, TNW Firearms. Now, Tim Barrow's with us. I saw this firearm, and Scott's done some media. You guys got something pretty crazy. If you guys have been watching us for these 10 seasons, this is something I don't think you've seen yet. Tell our viewers first, though, Tim, how you guys got started, and give us a little bit of backstory, if you will.
Yeah, so TW's been around about 30 years, and we started out by making historical collectibles, which is like things like the Browning 1919 machine gun, the 50 caliber machine gun. We redesigned those products into semi-automatic so that every free American collect them and own them.
Yeah, and this doesn't look like an historical. You guys have switched gears since your old historical firearms days. You see Scott, he's a happy possessor. He's got one right there. Scott, what are we looking at, Scott?
Yeah, so this is the rifle that we're going to be giving away on GunStuff, and this is just a really good piece. It comes with a 45 caliber barrel, and it just screw this right here, and the whole thing comes apart, goes in your backpack, super small, super light, and I took this out and did some shooting with it, and it is a great firearm.
Yeah, this is a very extraordinary gun. It's a lot of research and development. Like the lower he has is a 1911 style, so it fits the 1911 magazine. This is a Glock style, and this is not the gun like on an AR. This is not a serialized part. So what you have is you can swap these out to all different mag sizes. So what he's got is a 45 ACP 1911 style, but then of course that if you can put different magazines into that, you can shoot 9 out of it. You can shoot 357 and 40 and 460 Roland. And with the invention of the universal bolt that adjusts to the caliber on the fly, all you're changing is a magazine and a barrel, and you're shooting a different caliber in that rifle. So it's quite extraordinary. It does it all on the fly. And so you can swap the mag, swap the ammo, swap the barrel, and you're shooting a totally different round out of it.
Hey, yeah, and that was my question. Was on your bolt, how does the bolt work? If you could explain that a little bit, because to me that's magic.
So what happens is that the bolt has a we can hold it in the right place here. The bolt has an extractor which can be switched to the other side for dual ejection. Then it also has what's called a case guide that we invented, and this case guide is also spring loaded. So as the round comes out of the magazine, the bolt just adjusts itself to that size of ammunition. So this is a 10, for instance, and so it's adjusted itself on the fly to a 10, and then when it ejects out, it'll eject just like a normal bolt will. For instance, this is a 9mm, for instance, so it goes up the same way out of the magazine, and the bolt would adjust to that round. So it could be a 9, could be a 40, could be a 10 or 460. The gun no longer cares what ammo you're putting in it in that range of ammunition. It just adjusts itself to it.
So Maggie, what do you think about a firearm that does all of these? To me, it's unheard of.
This is just cool. I love anything that just makes it easier to get out to the range. And when you can kind of simplify things and you can use the same ammo across different platforms and you can use the same magazines that you already have and you can just kind of get out there and enjoy your time on the range instead of trying to really, just have all these different, just too much gear. It slows you down, it becomes cumbersome, and then you just don't want to get out there. But anything that makes it fun in that you can start sourcing stuff that you already have in your garage. I mean, this is like the coolest thing I've ever heard of. Like I'm sitting here listening to you talk and I'm just like mind blown over the technology. I can't even understand it. This is like the best end of the world gun ever.
Yeah, and it's essentially that's what it is. I mean, this whole thing breaks down this small, and it'll fit right in your backpack. And just like you can see here, that is a small backpack, by the way. That's not like a full size backpack. That's like a little, just meant to hold like a school folder or something like that. But you can take it out. This is with the 9mm upper. The 9mm upper the winner will be receiving has a handguard on it, and it just screws right in. Grab the mag, load it up, and go. Just that quick. So that's the really cool thing about this.
The other thing we did was that the barrels are made differently than you would think on an AR or something. It's got a centering cone about 4 inches ahead of the chamber, so that when you take this out of your backpack, if you had a scope on it, for instance, you put it back together, it's back on 0 because of the cones and the barrel nut assembly. So you don't have to re-sight it whenever you throw a barrel on it. It's going to be where it was previously.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about it is you just be able to get on there, you'll be able to get on target, and whatever it is, you just get up and shoot it. Now, I'm not shooting it on with sights on this one because we're waiting.
I was going to say, I'm looking at it, Scott, you've got eagle eyes. You don't even need a sight.
I didn't have sights, but the thing is, I was shooting at pistol ranges, so I didn't take it over, say, 40 yards. But the thing is just aiming right down the sight rails, not a problem. But but you'll be able to, put your sights on there, throw your barrel in, shoot, and go to town.
Look at these groups that you're getting without a sight. Maggie, what do you think?
Yeah, that wasn't quite fair because I'm doing the thumb thing, but I didn't have a sight, so it's not really that as accurate as it should be.
It's still better than me. I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty committed to only using red dots or optics at this point. So you're much more you're much better than me.
And Tim, here's some more. We got some more footage of it here. Oh, what does it say? The comments: Scott don't need no stinking sights. Okay. and then Den says, "Good for Scott, but I need some sights." So hey,
Maggie needs optics. Yeah. Maggie needs optics.
I'm not very good with a pistol, but with a 4-power scope on this, I can hit a lot of stuff at 100 yards. But I couldn't hit anything with a pistol.
Well, and that's one of the things too. A lot of people they don't understand that you can hit. We've taken 200-300 yard pistol shots before with 9mm and hit targets. So having it in a long barrel like this in this configuration makes it an excellent defensive weapon. Yes, absolutely. And being able to put it in a backpack, makes it transportable. Being able to put it together really quick makes it an excellent survival rifle.
Yeah, when you put it through a longer barrel, it kind of supercharges the round. You get better velocities. And I'll give you an example. If you shot a 460 Roland out of this thing, at 100 yards, the velocity of that bullet would be the same as a 1911 45 point blank. at 100 yards. So you can imagine the amount of energy you have coming out of that rifle.
What is the price range for this? Because something that has this much capability, does it normally come with just one barrel, two barrels, or how does this work?
People can order them as a pick 3. So people will pick a 9, 10, 45 package, and so it'll come with 3 different barrels and 2 trigger housings. Of course, the trigger housings are not a gun, so you can always buy those later as well through the mail. The actual gun is the cylindrical part on the top, and so the idea is an open platform firearm where you can plug stuff into it and configure it the way you want it configured.
And these don't have the handguard on there. The one that people are going to receive do have it installed.
Right. So we sell a 10-inch handguard, a 6-inch handguard, and then we also sell an adapter to put any AR-15 handguard on that you want. And that all becomes part of the barrel nut assembly. So it comes off with your barrel and stays together with your barrel.
So
all these parts are machined out of aircraft aluminum and 4140 steel in America. It's made in America. It's not imported.
All right. Well, that's what we like. Well, folks, head on over. It's tnwfirearms.com. I think I got that right there, Tim.
Yes, sir.
And you folks head on over there and learn more about this. You're going to hear a lot more to come from GunStuff on this subject. Thanks a lot, Tim, and we'll have you back on again very, very soon. So Adam, we were talking about this giveaway package. We thought it was, I thought of you right away, because it's not enough just to shoot the guns. If you want them to last, you have to do some cleaning, and that's where you guys come in. Tell our viewers how you guys got started and why it's so important to really think about what you do with your firearm after you shoot it.
Yeah, so the company was started by my dad back in 2015, and I was still in high school, and he kind of just did it as like little boutique sales. Believe it or not, it's pretty hard to start a retail business when you're taking care of 2 kids. So about 5 years later, I think it was 2019, 2020, I got involved and I was all 19, 20 years old, had no idea what I was doing, but slowly but surely made it to where we are now.
And you're taking it to even greater heights, is that right?
I like to think so, at least.
Now, where did you get this idea, BOAR, B-O-A-R? We love it. We're loving your logo. Let me see if I can show it here. Here's the logo for folks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was originally my dad's idea. So one of the ingredients in it is lard, and he thought, boar, kind of play on words with it. He really liked the aggressive boar on there as well. That's kind of like the brand identity for it. Well, it's meant to work in any condition you need it for.
Is that a common product that would be in a gun cleaner, or is that something specifically to you guys?
No, we are, I believe, the only true all natural gun cleaner on the market. And we spent a lot of time doing it. Our temperature range, negative 55 to 520 degrees. So we're competing with all the big guys with their operational temperatures and everything. But yeah, I think we're the only true all-natural brand on the market. Every single product we sell, whether it's our gun cleaners, our tool cleaners, we have some more home stuff and fishing stuff that's going to be coming out later next year as well. Everything's going to be all-natural, made in the U.S., and meant for everybody to use.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so I noticed on your website, this is a product that doesn't stink. I heard that. I saw that.
I was just going to say, if it's all natural, you probably don't have to run out of the room every time you open it.
Yeah, ours is also one of the few products that smell like death when you clean your guns. It has a little bit of citrus terpene in it to help break down some of the heavier carbon and whatnot, and that gives it a nice little citrus scent. So if you don't like the smell of citrus, may not be for you, but most people, I think, prefer it over whatever carcinogens the rest of the stuff smells like.
That's great. And the thing is you know, I know about your products and I've used them, but I didn't realize that they were completely all natural because I got the canister of it. I didn't read the little stuff on the bottom and, you know, saying that, but that's amazing that you guys have done that because a lot of people don't want to have, you know, spray this stuff in the air because everybody knows when you spray this stuff in the air, you're breathing it in, you're taking it in, you're getting it on your hands, you're absorbing it. So it being an all natural product, that's got to be better.
Oh, wait a minute. So you say, Adam, if I can smell it, I'm actually breathing it?
I guess. Apparently, that's how that works.
You know, I shouldn't admit to this like on camera, but I can't tell you how many times I've cleaned my gun in a hotel room the night before a competition. And I mean, when you're in that closed, you know, environment, and you're using the hotel bathtub to spray out your guns, I mean, it's pretty toxic and you're inhaling all of that. So this seems like a much better deal to use something that's all natural, smells nice, and maybe won't destroy the hotel room afterwards.
Yeah, you won't get the side effect of inhaling some of those fumes as well with our product. So, yeah.
And I deny anything that's any damage that's ever been done to any hotel room, by the way. I deny it all.
Yeah, I wonder who came into the hotel room after Maggie and what they thought. Yeah, you know, that's an interesting tub ring. Now, you've got all kinds of
Every
products.
competition shooter has cleaned out their guns in a hotel bathroom before.
Is that
Everyone.
Right? Yeah, and what do we got here? This looks like more of a sample size.
Yeah, so that's our 2-ounce bottle. That's kind of our bottle we advertise as like our range kit bottle. So that's a travel size for people that are competing. There, you're just going on a plane. You bring your guns with you. Just have it in your range bag as well. If you have a malfunction out while you're training, it's nice to just have a smaller bottle because the big 8-ounce bottle can be a little cumbersome. I think it fits really well in your hands. A nice shot bottle. But this is meant to be a little bit more portable and just kind of, you can take it with you anywhere. And that 2 ounces lasts you a pretty long time. We were doing demos at SHOT Show last year, and I think we had an 8-ounce bottle, and we probably made it all through an ounce, and we were doing like 3 demos a day, clearing bulk carrier groups.
So 2 ounces actually lasts quite a while too.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Got some more photos. And I noticed it says cleaner and lubricant. Is it like a one stop fits all or what?
Yeah, so it's I recommend it as a lubricant for things like handguns and shotguns, things that you don't need a ton of oil on. We're actually releasing our gun oil Q1 of next year that will come in a dropper bottle that will be more meant for your ARs and stuff like that you have a higher cyclic rate with. But the lubricant in it does go up to 520 degrees, so not an issue there. So if you and how it works is when you're cleaning it, you just spray it on and you can kind of wipe it off. You may have to let it settle a little bit depending on how caked on the carbon is. But when it comes to lubricating, the solvent didn't actually evaporate. So you just spray it on and you just let it sit and work into whatever parts, and it lubricates itself from there. All the solvent will evaporate and just leave only the lubricating and protection on there for it.
That's awesome. Yeah. And the cleaning kits that you guys have also, because you got 223 and the 9mm kits where you just put the cleaning head on, pull it through. I like those. Those are great. What exactly do you have in those?
Yeah, so right now we have the 223 and 9mm cleaning kits in partnership with Otis, and then we also have a breakdown mats, kind of like instructional mats. We partner with Sears Gear to make one for AR-15s and then Glocks as well. And we do have bundles on our site for all that to save a few bucks here and there and get some free shipping on that too.
Otis is such a great company. That's so cool that you're partnering with them and able to get that leverage that way. That's awesome.
Yeah, we debated on making our own cleaning kits, but we figured why not compete with the kings of it? So we just decided to partner with them instead.
Hey, well, I've always wondered, I'm sort of on the cheap side, right? So, do you really need a different size kit for every bore? I'm thinking probably my days of being on the cheap probably is not really a great idea. What do you think, Adam?
Depends how well you want to work, because the way the cleaning kits are designed is like that 9mm is a pistol kit, so the rip cord that they have for it is only designed for pistol length barrels, and the inserts for it as well are going to fit a lot more snug with that 30 caliber range. whereas the AR kit has a really long ripcord, so you can pull all the way through on your standard 16, 18-inch barrel. And again, it's designed for that 223 bore size, so it's can clean more effectively.
So maybe I shouldn't be so cheap then, I guess you're saying.
I mean, you can try with the 9mm. You could probably clean like part of a barrel at a time, maybe.
I've seen them get stuck. I don't recommend it. I've seen them get stuck. It's not pretty.
Yeah, that's funny. You get out there and hit it with the cleaner rod, but the only thing is, you ain't gonna have a cleaner rod. You're gonna have a cable, so you have to pull that sucker pretty hard. Yeah. The thing is, I love is the compact packaging. You know, so you can throw that in the bag. Doesn't take up much space, but it's there when you need it. Get it out and clean your gun. That's amazing.
And it's organic, natural, rather than breathing in. You know, I like the fact that you do have some boar products. I like my bacon and eggs, and so I'm not too worried about carcinogen. Maybe I should be, but I think that's a lot better than some unnamed synthetic. Now, look, I tell you what, we've got about 30 seconds. We're going to ask you to hold through the break, but before we go, tell our viewers where they can learn more about boar products, please.
Yeah, they can go to boarproducts.com. That's BOARPRODUCTS.com, and they can actually save 20% off on their first order with code GSTV, and that will stay active. So if they're seeing this live, or if they're watching it on TV, it should still be active for them to go.
All right, GSTV, I see that's good. Hey, you guys stick around. We're going to have some giveaways, and Adam, you're going to be a big part of this, so don't go anywhere.
The headrest safe is quick and easy to use. Some may even call it a game changer. The headrest safe acts as a safety net, protecting your belongings while keeping them out of sight and out of bounds of others, serving as security while also keeping your valuables in bounds. That's what the headrest safe provides for me. Game, set, match.
Hey, next week, I dare you to watch, because we got Dare You Firearms on here. Hunter's Moon Run and Gun is back, and then also the Second Amendment. They've got some late-breaking news. They were all on airplanes today. They couldn't make it. So stick around next week. We're going to find out something that's going to get your blood boiling. But until next time, get your stuff from GunStuff. Hey! 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 To your left, to your left. At time. Hit! 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 Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Chris Swainhart, and this is GunStuff. GunStuff is dedicated to arming America one law-abiding citizen at a time. We have a great show lined up for you today. CCW breakaways. Now, if you haven't seen this, you got to. This is the greatest thing for concealed carry. You're going to want to stick around. And if you do stick around, you might even win something. Hunter's Moon, Run and Gun. You saw a little bit of that in our cold open. Daria Firearms, and then also the Second Amendment Foundation. I saw this. It looked very disturbing. The Department of Justice was requesting a list of all Second Amendment Foundation members. Now, I think they wanted to do it in context of some particular legalese, but hey, it didn't sit well with me. We tried to get them on the show, but they were all on airlines. So to help us out today, Costas Moros is here today from the Second Amendment Foundation. What was going on in this? I was pretty upset about it, but you said maybe not to worry?
It's not to worry, but first of all, thanks for having me on. So what's happened here is this is the second time we've run into this issue, and we've essentially been caught in the crossfire of a bigger issue. The Trump administration is very concerned about these universal injunctions, especially in the context of immigration cases, and they won a case called Trump v. Casa in which they got the Supreme Court to keep injunctions more narrow. So what's happening here is we got a ruling in the post office case, and the judge says it applies to all SAF and FPC members. But the Trump administration, wanting to protect the precedent of Trump v. Casa, because I personally think they're worried about other cases, not gun cases, they have asked the judge to narrow the ruling so it only applies to members at the time the lawsuit was filed. And one of the things they argue is they say we can't demand membership lists, and we're not demanding membership lists. However, we did ask them to voluntarily give us membership lists. That way we know who's exempt from this law. What I would encourage them to do is they don't need to know who's exempt from the law. If they charge someone with violating the post office carry ban and that person presents evidence that they're a SAF member or an FPC member after they're arrested, then that should be a complete defense to the charges. Alternatively, they should just stop enforcing the unconstitutional law altogether, and then we can avoid this whole debate. But what I would, in some, this is concerning, but it's not true, as some have said, that they've demanded membership lists. I think it's a lot more complicated than that.
Well, I showed it to everybody. They saw it there in writing, October 28th, and it looked pretty strong to me. And you know what? Kudos to you. If it were me, I'd be trembling, but you don't take any guff from the government, and we appreciate that. Hey, you know what? This does illustrate one thing, Costas. This isn't the first time a Second Amendment Foundation member, if you're a member, received preferential treatment. And I think it makes sense then. The biggest thing we can do is to support and become a member of the Second Amendment Foundation. How do you do that? And what does it cost?
Yeah, it's very easy to become a member. You go to our website, saf.org. I think it's right there under my beautiful face here, and you buy a membership. I think we're at $25 a year. I'd have to double check that, but it's not very expensive. And I just want to be clear, it wasn't us. If it were up to us, we'd get relief for everyone, not just members. It's the courts that have narrowed this relief to just us. We never asked for it. I don't want people to think that this is something we asked for to force people to become members of SAF. No, our mission is the Second Amendment, not our membership roles. That said, this is the current legal reality, so we do encourage everyone to become a member.
Hey, the last time, Costas, I went out to eat for lunch, I really splurged. I took my true love out to McDonald's, and we barely got out of there for $25. So I don't think that what you're charging is exorbitant by any means.
Well, we appreciate that. And I think McDonald's these days is becoming too rich for all our blood. It's pretty crazy how much it costs now.
Well, and members get the benefit of what you guys are doing. You are suing on our behalf, and you're doing all kinds of legal things that we probably couldn't do ourselves. What are some of the other cases that might be coming up here in the very near future, Costas?
Yeah, we have a long assortment of cases as well as amicus briefs that we file even in cases we're not a part of. And we are working for a big example, a recent one is the California handgun roster, which has allowed new guns to enter the market for the first time in several years. Our case in that is called Rena v. Bonta, and it's proceeding in the Ninth Circuit. So if you've gotten a handgun in California in recent years that was designed after 2013, I think a gentleman from Duria is going to be on the show soon. That's a big reason why. And we're also doing what we can about the upcoming Glock sales ban and the Glock platform ban. So that's one case. Another one we just filed is a little bit more specific, but I think your audience will find it interesting. We just filed a case, I think this week, or it might have been late last week, in New Jersey, considering a gentleman whose wife was involuntarily committed because of a misunderstanding. She didn't speak English very well, and they thought she was suicidal. Turns out she wasn't suicidal. But in any case, they then went to her husband's house while he was there at home and seized all his firearms because his wife was a threat to himself. And even though he attested she didn't even have access to the firearms, they're in a safe. She doesn't have access to the safe. And he was willing to put that in writing under New Jersey law, which says that if a cohabitant becomes a prohibited person, you can still get the guns back as long as you attest that they don't have access to them. Instead of being reasonable, New Jersey filed to take away his gun rights entirely. He didn't do anything wrong. His wife didn't even do anything wrong. They admitted she's not suicidal. So we've now sued that city and that county in New Jersey over this issue, and we think it could have broader implications, for due process rights. And although this wasn't under the state's red flag law, it also arises in that sort of concern as well.
Well, we've got about 30 seconds left here. You mentioned a couple of things that caught my ear there when you were talking about California, New Jersey. It seems to me some blue states make it a little bit hard for us as gun owners. And have you noticed that?
I live in California, so yes, I've noticed that. My AR-15 still has weird parts on it I don't want, and I still have 10-round magazines, although I have some Freedom Week mags. We'll see if that's going to be permanent or not. So I definitely live here to stay motivated in my job. I think I might have lost interest if I were in Wyoming or something.
Well, I sure appreciate you being on the show, taking time out of that. Hey, I think I'm feeling a little bit better. I know our viewers are. You guys comment and make some comments during the show how you feel about this. And to become a member, where do they go again, Kostas?
SAF.org, SAF.org, easy to remember. There's a tab called support or join. You just click there and you can become a member, donate, whatever else. And we appreciate everyone who does support us.
Well, that's great. And thank you so much. You folks stay tuned. We got a lot more coming.
The next generation Gerson double stack Witness 2311 takes the 1911 design to the next level. Compatible with many 1911 slides, barrels, and parts, the Witness 2311 series is not a wolf in sheep's clothing double stack like much of the competition. Don't be fooled by the words double stack. Get a Witness 2311 for a true evolution of a 1911 double stack with match grade features. Find yours starting at just $749. To learn more, visit eaacorp.com.
Now, Maggie, last week you were introducing this to our viewers. We're going to have a rewind. What are we looking at here?
You put me on the spot because I don't have my glasses on. But what we've done is you've really done something really cool, which is given a centralized location for all of the shooting sports. And I always get so many questions. People want to know, how do I get involved in competition? Where do I go? How do I find out more information? And I've had to point people in 1,000 different directions. USPSA, IPSC, IDPA, Bianchi Cup, Steel Challenge. And it's too much for people to remember off the top of their head. There's too many acronyms. Nobody wants to write all of that information down. And what you were able to do is centralize all of that information and put it in one spot. So if you just go to GunStuff TV, you can find a master calendar, look up all the events, find something local to you, and have a centralized source for information where people can go out and say, okay, let me find all the cool sports, all the cool places to go, and find out how to get involved in these really cool sports. And so I am excited for your new website, and I'm excited to be able to just send people to one spot and find information.
Yeah, so there you'll see that's the home page, and then you can go on in and look at our calendar page, and there are thousands of events now. I checked it out. There are thousands, probably 600 or 800 more since the last time we talked. And you can drill down and you can find out the details. Like here's an example right there. It tells you where it is, who to call, anything that you want to know if you want to get involved. And to me, that's great. Now, speaking of getting involved, I think I have some footage right here. Scott, let's see if this shows you getting involved. Here's an example of Scott. You guys are out there competing. And I think this is at the Hunter's Moon, unless I'm mistaken. Scott.
Yep, that's Hunter's Moon, and so we're doing a run and gun, and we're doing the shooting and moving and all this stuff. So you go to these events, and you have to each event is you run blind, and you have to perform once you get the instructions. So that's the thing I love about these, is because you don't have a real good chance to prepare. You just have to train well.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to switch over here. And last week we almost missed our featured firearm here. And we've got it right here in the studio. Maggie, we've been talking about this. I know you're familiar with this because we talked about it. We got in the last shipment of a limited edition of 500 of them. And I have it right here in the studio. Maggie, I'm going to let you handle this. And Scott, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about it?
Yeah, so this is the Ruger SR 1911. It comes on a commander frame. It's 45 ACP, has seven round magazines, 4.5-inch stainless steel barrel, the stainless steel slide, aluminum frame, a beaver tail, a generous beaver tail, and a checkered G10 grip. But the coolest thing about this is that this is a limited run, and there's only about 500 made. So this is an instant collector's item. So these are great guns to get, carry, whatever, and then they're going to go up in value usually.
Yeah, cycle it. Go ahead and see what you think of the trigger there, Maggie. Now, Maggie knows her way around 1911.
So if you know me, you know I love 1911s. They're absolutely my favorite guns. I love a good trigger. It's my favorite thing. I love external safeties. I love pretty guns. I love fancy guns. I've been a fan of Ruger for a long, long time, many years. So I love a good, nice, collectible 1911. It's just my favorite. I love anything that you can just put in the gun safe and take it out once a year and kind of just handle it and appreciate the fine craftsmanship and then just put it away. I'm a collector.
I'll tell you what, we're going to leave it there, guys. We have a special price. Actually, it's less than $12.80. And for a 1911 with this quality, it's a beautiful firearm. You'll love it if you get one. Now, stick around. There's more to come. And we got a jam-packed full of all kinds of goodies coming your way. Let's welcome back Hunter's Moon and John Drossert. We saw some footage at the beginning. We're very impressed of what you guys are doing. For people that haven't really seen your event, don't know much about it, why don't you talk a little bit in general how you got started?
Sure. First off, thanks for having me on. It's always good to be here and talking with you guys. Hunter's Moon is a 5 or 10K shooter's choice centerfire biathlon event. It's hosted at the Lucas Oil Cattle Ranch in central Missouri, which is just a gorgeous facility that they're very generous to let us use. Competitors step off the course with everything that they need to carry to complete the entire course of fire. And all of the stages are blind. You don't know what you're doing until you get there, and you get the brief from the RO. We had 7 stages on our 5K this year and 12 stages on our 10K course. So we leaned a little heavier into the shooting this year and a little less into the running. But it was a great match. The weather really kept us on our toes, as you'll see in Scott's video clips. We got 35, 40 mile an hour wind gusts, thunderstorms, lightning, 2.5 inches of rain, hail, anything nature could throw at us. Our competitors were out there running through it. And every single one, it sucked in the moment, but they always had a smile on their face. And it was a really, really fun event.
And that's one of the things about these events, you get out there and you're running and it's rough that you're going through the bad weather and all this stuff. But at the same time, you're really out there to test yourself. So that's the great thing about it. So you run into these matches, you usually get into them once or twice a year where just you get big, heavy downpour and everything. And those are the ones people remember the most.
I was gonna say that's always the perfect way to describe the best match, is that they suck in the moment, you know. But that's the point of it. Just like you said, Scott. That's what tests you, and that's what makes you determined to finish it, and that's what proves all of your skills, and that's what, you know, really makes you feel that sense of accomplishment at the end. Is just knowing that you pulled everything together and you saw the finish line, and that's what counts, the finish line.
And here's our restart of the other, and we're going to be watching a lot of these different stages and let you guys kind of comment on it. At the beginning of the show, I don't think you guys could hear it, but our audience could. It was pouring down rain. It looked incredible, absolutely incredible. But here it looks like it dried off a little bit by this time. So Scott, what's going on here?
Yeah, so this is one of the stages. This is the 1,000-yard stage, and you start off and you engage out, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 yards as the targets go out to 1,000. And this was a dry time of the first day of the race. So this runner was lucky enough to be able to shoot it in the dry and not be in the middle of the rainstorm. So that was a good thing.
Now, does he? John, does he get extra points or demerits because he didn't have to go through the rain, or is it the luck of the draw, or what?
Unfortunately, it's luck of the draw. With our sport, as with most sports, I'm sure there's the running gag joke of the RO curse. And 99.9% of the time, the ROs get way worse weather and way worse conditions when they run the course than the competitors do. And this year for Hunter's Moon was the exact opposite. It was a beautiful 70 degrees and sunny for the ROs, and then the competitors had 50 degrees and 2.5 inches of rain.
So how does that work? You just mentioned RO. I'm assuming you mean range officers. And
yes.
Those are volunteers pretty much that help?
Yep. So all of our range officers are volunteers. They come out the day before and they get to, as a thank you for working the entire next day and keeping all of our competitors safe, they get to run the course for free. As part of that, they get to test and proof all of the stages for us too as we go. We try to have them all proofed and ready to go before the first RO even steps off on the course. But as with everything in the world, you don't know something's broken until you let 100 people try it. So it gives us a chance to really work out any kinks, and they get to, just kind of as a thank you, they get to come compete and see all the stages, and then the next day they work for us all day, and which this year was exceptionally brutal for that, because while the competitors were only spending 2 or 3 hours running the course and out in the rain before they could go get warm and dry, our 42 ROs were out there all day just in the rain and wind and hail, and not a single one of them complained about it. It was fantastic. There's such a great group of people.
I think the biggest challenge was keeping everything dry. Like I was filming, just like all this was filmed that I did. And we lost cameras, timers were getting out because everybody was getting just drenched the whole day. Trying to keep your, papers and everything dry, and keeping scores on all that stuff, it makes things a little more difficult. That's for sure.
Yeah, and like this stage it's showing right now, these rifle targets that you can barely see here in the rain are only 80 yards away. So when we had stages that were reaching 600, 1,000 yards, visibility was a major factor in the competition this year. But all of our competitors, we only had one person not show up when they saw the forecast. So all of our competitors, just true shout out to them and their grit and their determination to do it. Hunter's Moon is a charity fundraising match. We raise funds for the Missouri Farmers Care Drive to Feed Kids. So we're trying to help combat childhood food insecurity across the state of Missouri. And thanks to the generosity of our competitors and everybody coming out, we were able to raise a little over $5,000 for that cause, which is something we're pretty proud of.
You know, Maggie, we've been talking about this with the GunStuff TV database. You know, you can go out and find an event like this anywhere, and you can actually go watch too. Isn't that right, Maggie? Most of these people will let spectators watch?
Yeah, it's, you know, everybody in the shooting sports is always just so welcoming. It's hard to watch though, because as soon as you get out there, they want you to participate. They want to draw you into the community, and they want you, they'll loan you equipment. They'll do anything they can just to get you out there behind the gun. But I want to draw on something that you said, is just to be out there and shooting out to 1,000, you know, yards is pretty impressive. Over the years, a lot of the 3-gun matches that I've been shooting, they've been shrinking down in size because it's hard to find a range that will let you shoot that distance. You know, it's pretty impressive. We started out shooting, you know, 500 yards, 600 yards. Then it was only 300 yards. Then they started bringing the distance in closer and just kind of shrinking down the size of the target to mimic distance. But the fact that you guys are out there still shooting 6, 7, 8, 1,000 yards, I mean, that's so impressive. You just don't get to do that in many parts of the country. And I think that that's got to be what makes it really, really fun for your event. You just don't get to do it anyplace else.
So, John, if people came out and they just wanted to watch, or let's say they wanted to volunteer, maybe they don't know how to be a range officer, but there were probably some things they could do to help you guys out. What do you think, John?
Yeah, they can reach out to me. You can find the event has a Facebook page. You can just search Hunter's Moon Run and Gun on Facebook, and we pop up. There's a bunch of different ways that people can help, or maybe you have a fellow competitor that maybe you're not feeling up for it yet, but your buddy wants to try it. You can always, you know, as long as you sign the waivers, run the course with him.
Scott, that looks, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I don't want to miss that. That looks a little tricky there, Scott. What's he on there?
Yeah, so he's on the balance board, and you know that you have to engage certain targets, like he's engaging the blue stripe targets from the stage he's at now, but he had to engage the white targets, and there's targets are in the way on the plate rack, so it makes it really difficult to see the targets, be able to stabilize yourself and be able to hit the targets. But that was a great stage, and that was one of the ones I was assigned to work part-time.
So John, I guess you get a lot of good feedback. People have fun on all these different challenges, right?
Yeah, it was a very challenging course, and the weather didn't make it any easier, but that made it where, you know, the weather was everybody's enemy and not my stages. So that helped me a little bit, I think, this year. We come up with just about everything. I try really hard to keep it balanced, you know, between rifle and pistol stages, or pistol only and rifle only. And here you can see we have the AccuShot one-shot challenge as part of one of our stages. So all of our competitors get the opportunity to run that. For those that aren't familiar with that, it's B&T Industries, who is the makers of Atlas bipods. It's a challenge that they send for us to add, and the winner of that challenge gets a certificate for a free Atlas bipod. It's whoever gets closest to the center of the crosshair on the middle of the card. So,
well, I tell you what, we're going to have to leave it there. We've hit our time mark here. Now, Hunter's Moon, just look for Hunter's Moon Run and Gun on Facebook, and they can learn more about it. When is the next one you have? And then we're going to leave it there.
We are an annual event. We will be back next October. Registration will be announced eventually, and it'll be live 100 days before the match.
Well, let's have you back on GunStuff, and you can announce the opening registration on GunStuff TV, and we'll push it out there for you. Hey, guys, I want you to stick around because we have a whole lot more. Thanks so much, John. We got a lot more coming. All right?
But the one thing I can tell you about my family, it's bred into us. We're not quitters.
Facts and Firearms.
Well, we talked about at the beginning of the show about a giveaway and CCW breakaways. Jay French is here. You have something that I think is unique. And tell our viewers a little bit how you got started, and then we're going to drill down into your product line, Jay.
Hi, Chris. Hey, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. How did we get started? It was the CCW Breakaways was birthed in martial arts setting. My training partner and I, we always pressure tested everything that we did. We were always looking for the point of failure. And when we got into close quarters, accessing the firearm, carrying a firearm, deploying it very quickly has always been a problem. So I think God just hardwired me as an efficiency freak. I'm always looking for a more efficient way of doing something. And that was the beginning. So we were looking for a comfortable way to carry, a fast way to deploy. And I did some studies. I had looked at Dr. John Lott at the Crime Prevention Research Center. He made a statement, or he actually did some research and some studies, and found that only 2.4% of the people that have concealed carry permits carry all the time. I was looking to improve that. I would like to see people carrying a lot more frequently, and myself included. We came up with a methodology for carrying and deploying firearms, and we have 5 patents on the clothing, the concealed carry pants, and the shorts that we manufacture and sell. And we have 1 patent and another one pending on the holster that we manufacture and sell.
So Scott,
so it was birthed in martial arts, and again, just pressure testing, looking for a very efficient way of carrying and deploying.
Scott, I like what Jay is saying here, because if it's not comfortable or convenient, you might not be carrying. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, when I was on duty, I had to carry every day. But, when I couldn't wait sometimes for my shift in so I could get that off my hip, but you have to have a comfortable way to carry. And I think they've figured it out.
And let's see here. I'm going to show this. Here we got some illustrations to explain all about it. And you know what? Maybe before we do it, let's just see what you can do, because you're actually wearing the product. Let me give a full screen on this, and we might need to move the camera around a little bit. But hey, let's give it a shot and see what this looks like here.
Yeah, I'd be happy to demonstrate it, and then we can go through some of the options that we offer, and then we can actually explain how it works. So let's do that.
We're all ready. So there he goes. Now it looks just like ordinary pants to me.
Yeah, there's no cover garment required either. And typically in today's world, it's very popular to have some sort of an inside the waistband carry with a holster, but it's very painful, particularly if you have to move a lot and be very active. Getting in and out of your vehicle, getting up and down from desks or seated chairs, it hurts. It's almost like having a splint on a broken bone, because you can't bend, you can't move, you can't flex. So standing here with my hands in my pocket, it's a very natural look. What we needed was a very rapid way. I've cut half the cycle time out of the drawing process, because I've got a full gun grip right now in a concealed state, so I'm not brandishing my weapon at all. So the first step is really to just get the full gun grip, break it away, and you can kind of see there's an enlarged opening so that the firearm can easily come out, and then you draw. So you can kind of see my daily carry as a SIG P365 X macro. It's not a small gun, and it's got an optic, so it's a reasonably good size. Let me just put it back together and do it, at probably a normal speed. But you can see underneath the waistband, there's a belt, a breakaway opening, and it only takes one hand and an outward snapping of the wrist to perform.
That's pretty
So
incredible.
It's a very easy, simple 1, 2, 3 step process. And again, it's an enlarged opening, because, Chris, when you grab a firearm, the combined circumference of the hand and the grip itself is larger than most openings. You can probably see some people that carry, and they've got this monkey trap concept. You can't get it out, or they have to wiggle like this. With the breakaway, you just break it open, you have a very large opening. So you've cut half the cycle time just by, and I'm going to re-snap and look again, kind of let you take a look. And it's good for lefties or righties again. Same thing on this side. So you can kind of see there's a female snap here and a male snap here that's hidden and disguised under the. So the key was get into normal looking clothing. We didn't want to have a tactical look. We wanted to be very gray man. Yep. And again, I think maybe if I walk you through some of the other pictures that I gave you, some of the clothing we do, you'll see we blend in, we look normal. No one will ever know that you're carrying.
That's the thing I love about it, is the fact that you don't have to be wearing any kind of tactical gear. And one of the big problems with me is I acquire a lot of gear, so it becomes easy to wear that stuff. But it'd be real easy for somebody to pick me out and say, okay, I'm going to shoot some people up. I'm going to take him out first because he looks like he's the attack, whatever. He's got cargo pants on and a whatever. But the thing is, with this, you can look completely normal and conceal your firearm, and no one will ever think that you have a firearm in your pocket. But you can still deploy it at a second's notice, and that's the key, and that's the great thing you figured out with these. Thank you very much.
It really does look like you're just your standard everyday wear, your casual wear, your business casual wear. What you'd wear to go to the park or walk around with your family, and like Scott said, we do tend to stand out in a crowd because you get that certain kind of little bit of a tactical look to yourself after a while when you're trying to get these certain clothing lines. But that's just an everyday casual look. What we're showing on the screen right now, you wouldn't pick that out of a crowd.
That was the whole objective, is to just blend in, look normal. And then the key to comfort, I'll show that in a minute. You're going to see this video where that's a video that we use in some of our social media in our website. But you saw, as you rippled through those photographs, you saw jeans. Of course, Americans love jeans. They're probably our number one seller. The thing that you're looking at there, the gray casual pants, it's kind of a hybrid of a chino and a jeans. You can see you've got the rear jeans pocket. You've got a side cell phone pocket in this particular model, and again, breakaways on the left and the right.
Now, is there a holster inside there?
I'm sorry?
Is there a holster inside there to hold your gun? Or is it just sort of
actually, that's one of the patented features. How about if I walk you through that with some of the next pictures and graphics that I gave you?
Yeah, let's see here. It'll show up here in a minute. And, look here. There we are.
Yeah.
So that's hidden away inside there.
Yeah. If I had if we all had X-ray vision and we could see through that fabric, you'd see that the holster and the pocket are one and the same. So we called it a holster pocket. It's built into the garment. So it's a one, and there's a good inside out shot on the gray pants. If you go to the next one and just pause, might be able to explain. I think the next one in series. There we go. There we go. You can see left and right, it looks like a holster. You see some black Velcro that runs vertically that makes the depth of that pocket adjustable. Now, one of the key things, and let me just stand again, one of the keys was getting the holster or getting the firearm. Let me use a blue gun. Getting the firearm away from here again to eliminate the pain, but it's also getting it below the hip line of flexure. That's the key. Getting down here where you can hinge and bend. The other key is to get to the inside of a radius, the inside of the thigh instead of the outside. Anything, you're accustomed to seeing things in your people's rear pockets, the wallet, cell phones, you see things bulge. You don't want that when you're carrying a firearm. You don't want any printing, but the key is to get below that hinge line and on the inside of a radius, not the outside of a radius. Again, that was one of the other patentable features. So you can kind of see how it looks. again, breaking it away. Its key is getting it, storing it here and carrying it. Now, if you go back to the other graphics that I had provided.
Now, I'm not seeing that at all. I mean, when it's in your pants and you're pulling it out, I'm not seeing anything at all.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Thank you. That's yes. So the where we picked up the efficiency is back to the martial arts is it's less than a 1 second draw, and the key to that is you've got typically we can see things coming at us, and if you establish a grip and then just do the breakaway, you're not brandishing a weapon, so you've already eliminated half of the cycle time of the draw stroke. Mm-hmm. So and it's a one-handed motion. The other thing was in a close quarters. My training partner and I, we'd always get our hands tied up with one another. We've got our hands on each other. You know, I needed one hand, not two hand. I didn't want to have to clear my shirt and then draw my weapon and go into it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
One hand operation.
And you're not as obvious. Hey, you know what? I got to tell you, this looks like a product that everyone is going to want. Unfortunately, Jay, we're way over our segment here, and I think we could be talking about this for a long time. So I'll tell you what I'd like to do is we're going to give people the URL, which is ccwbreakaways.com. They can go there, learn a little bit more about it. But if you don't mind, I'm going to hold you through the break, because we're going to give away one of these products right after the break. And can you stick around there for us, Jay?
You bet. And I think I have a slide there for your viewers too, with the URL, QR codes to make it easy for them.
Well, we'll bring that back in just a minute. You guys stick around. There's more to come from GunStuff. Dustin, tell our viewers a little bit about Daria. We got some good questions for you and lots of media, but how did you guys get started, and who are you?
Well, we really started, a lot of people might not have heard of us. Maybe people have just recently, just because we've been pretty active just since we got started in January 2025, so it's been this year. We're excited for people to try us because we know when people do try us, they're going to have a good time doing it. They're going to have a reliable, and the actions will speak louder than what I can tell you, because when people do try it, it'll go well for them.
So tell us what we're looking at here.
So that's one of our most popular ones right there. That's the DY12Z. That's the MFA version. Our most popular version is the DY12Y. It's another firearm. It's a 12-gauge shock. It's 12-gauge other firearm. And that is the Z version. Our Y version is 11-inch barrel. It comes with a 5-round and 2 10-round magazines. We also make a drum magazine for it, and it's just really fun. And that's been overselling everything. There's been a couple of viral videos on YouTube, so definitely check them out. And it's better to see it in action. So photos don't do it justice sometimes.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, this style of shotgun is probably my favorite. The main reason is because it resembles the AR-15, the controls and everything. So you don't have to learn anything new, like myself, because I was in the military and law enforcement. We use AR-15s, so it was very easy to pick it up and run the gun, and everything's exactly the same. So that's why I love those. But those are great. But I love your short barrel. The models, they look fantastic.
Hey, Maggie,
they're doing really well.
Maggie, we used to talk about, we had, when Joe Biden was in office, he had the famous shotgun song. If anything happens, just take your double-barreled shotgun, go out on the back porch and fire 2 shots, and you're going to be safe. But I think this is an upgrade to that philosophy. What do you think, Maggie?
Yeah, I think if there's one guarantee in life, it's never to take gun advice from Joe Biden. That's one thing for sure. But definitely, the magazine-fed shotgun, it's the most popular popular route. It's the fastest growing thing in competition shooting. And I've found particularly that the recoil impulse off of a magazine-fed shotgun is just a lot more comfortable to shoot than the traditional shotgun. It's certainly faster to reload. It's certainly faster to get back on target, and it's just very, very popular. And it's just nice. You load the magazine, you do it in a traditional manner, like you said, very similar to an AR-15, and you're able to get back on target very, very fast. You put a nice red dot on it. I love a red dot on anything, so it's just easy to shoot and a lot more fun.
Yeah, Scott, it's the functioning of this. A lot of the energy is taken up by the mechanism instead of just going right into your shoulder. Isn't that right, Scott?
Yeah.
Yep. The recoil spring and everything in there that helps absorb some of the recoil, slow it down a little bit, and also with the muzzle brake that's on this model, is that removable to replace with suppressors or anything, or is that a fixed thing?
Yeah, so it's a barrel shrew that you can actually remove it. We make our own comps. You can also put suppressors on it. It's a Benelli choke system, so you can there's a lot of adapters that the suppressor companies make for 12 gauge shotgun.
That's awesome.
And everything like that. So if you like our shotguns, get in competition shooting, you guys have been talking about a lot in the show. We got something coming out Q1 made in the United States, and we've been working on it for a couple years now. And it's going to be something special. You'll like it even more.
Yeah.
And you have some pistols here too.
Yeah, the DY9 is kind of how that's what most people know us for in the United States. And funny thing about it, it's just, we're a new brand, so that's kind of what we launched with. That's our first pistol that we made in Jacksonville, and we incorporated in March 2024, and we were making guns by early March 2025. What really wasn't. We didn't really have a set goal. We just said, hey, let's ready, set, go. And I think it was a big accomplishment by the team here in the United States and also Turkey. They do a really good job. And, we're really go method. We're a small company in Jacksonville, really beehive mentality. And as we grow, of course, you can't do that as much. But the DY9 is actually our smallest segment of our business. We actually are mainly 22-auer rifles and shotguns. And the pistol caliber is one of our most fastest growing segments, especially in the United States. We make the DY9. This is the DY9 Gold that you're looking at. We have the DY9 Island barrel. For a lot of the people that are fans from the 90s, will remember it. The Truman Island design. We actually make that. One of the BPM manufacturers, a huge 2011 guy, Harry, and he makes some really nice 2011s. We don't make 2011s, but we try to spice it up for our striker fire design pistols. And we are launching tomorrow our DY9 comp version. It's a honeycomb threaded barrel, and it has a comp at the end of it, a black nitride, and it's really something cool. We have other stuff coming. We have 2 more launches, one November. That's going to be very high volume. And we have our 22R rifle series, which is the second most popular 22R platform in the world. But a lot of people don't know that, but and that's coming in January with a new item. That's going to be something we make 15 and 25 round magazines about it. But sorry, I'm really passionate about it. The team works really hard, so I only got 10 minutes. I got to throw everything out there.
Yeah. So look at this. This is the Melic. You've got them in different colors. I don't know, Maggie. I just happen to like the way this looks. What do you think?
I love pretty guns, and I agree with you that no gun collection is complete. If you do not have a 22, your gun collection is not complete. You have to add to it.
Well, I tell you what, if people want to learn more about Daria, because we're just basically scratching the surface here, and if people want to learn more, where do they go?
If they want to learn more about Daria, the best place is our U.S. website, daria.us. We also have our Turkish website, dariaarms.com. That's just 2 different segments of business. Same company, but daria.us concentrates only on the United States. Our only customer is United States Americans, and mostly everybody working here is Americans, besides one person that's on a visa. So it's really fun, and we'll have a good time. But yeah, we hope everybody looks into us, check it out, play around with it. Actions speak louder. I think you'll have a product that you'll really enjoy, and a firearm that you'll have a good time with. And we have all different sorts of it. We have every cup of tea you can think of. We just don't make one segment. We have multiple segments of the business. So if you don't like one thing, we got another thing.
All right. Well, I think we're going to leave it there, Dustin, and we'll have you back on because there's a lot more from Daria that we didn't really talk about. You folks.
Yeah, that's right. So thanks for having me on. I know you guys had goals, and you guys brought me on. I really appreciate it. We're a new brand, and any exposure helps out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you folks stick around. There's more to come.
The headrest safe is quick and easy to use. Some may even call it a game changer. The headrest safe acts as a safety net, protecting your belongings while keeping them out of sight and out of bounds of others, serving as security while also keeping your valuables in bounds. That's what the headrest safe provides for me. Game, set, match.
Next week, we've got a great show lined up for you. Athena Target Systems. You're going to like that. CMMG, and then also Walk the Talk America. I don't know if you know who all those people are, but there's one way to find out. Come back next week. But until that time, get your stuff from GunStuff. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Chris Swainhart, and this is GunStuff. GunStuff is dedicated to arming America, one law-abiding citizen at a time. We have a super great show for you today. CMMG Firearms are going to be here with us, Athena Target Systems, and Walk the Talk America. This summer, at the Gun Owners of America Goals Conference in Knoxville, we met up with Congressman Andrew Clyde. He inserted into the big, beautiful bill the provision that stripped out the NFA tax stamp. Hallelujah. We're pretty excited about that. But it turns out he's not done. Just this week, he and 30 other Republicans sent a letter to Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice insisting that they drop the NFA altogether. Well, here to make sense of it all is Andrew S. Clyde, Congressman Clyde from the 9th District in Georgia. Glad to have you here. And also Eric Pratt. Now, Congressman Clyde is glad to catch up with you again since our goals conversation. Tell our viewers a little bit about what's going on in the Second Amendment.
Thank you, Chris. It's great to be with you. GOA has a lawsuit right now that kind of piggybacks on the One Big Beautiful Bill, what we did there when we eliminated the $200 tax, the NFA tax on short barrels and suppressors. And so what we did there in eliminating that tax is we eliminated the foundation for the registry as well. And so though it was not specifically stated in the bill, that was the intent of Congress. And GOA has piggybacked on that and now is bringing a lawsuit to ensure that that happens. And I just sent a letter to the Department of Justice to Attorney General Pam Bondi, signed by 30 of my Republican colleagues, outlining the intent of Congress. And that was, when we eliminate the taxation, we eliminate the foundation of the registry, because the Supreme Court said that Congress can have a registry based on our authority to tax. Well, once you remove the authority to tax, which is what we did, President Trump signed that bill into law July 4th, then the registration must fall. They are inseparably linked. And that's what the letter said to the Department of Justice before they actually weighed in on the Gun Owners of America lawsuit.
Well, gun owners are really leading the fight here, Eric. Tell our viewers a little bit, why is it important to have you guys out there, and what is going to be the net effect? If you guys were on the sidelines, I don't think we'd be anywhere. Eric?
Well, Chris, first, I just want to thank you for having us on. And let me just say it's an honor to be on with Representative Clyde, because truly he is the gun rights leader in Congress. And really, he's the one, and he's too humble to say this, but he was the one who was instrumental in eliminating the NFA tax on certain firearms and suppressors. Because, if there was somebody who was needed to stay up till 3 a.m, sitting on an important budget committee hearing, advocating for the Second Amendment, it was him. And so none of this, eliminating the tax would not have happened without his leadership. And so this letter that he has authored, along with 30 representatives, it is so significant because with this, they're telling Pam Bondi and the DOJ, do not support gun control when you go into court and you're facing GOA, who's challenging the NFA. Do not support gun control. And quite frankly, this is really huge because sadly, Bondi and the DOJ have been supporting gun control in court. Now, they've done some good things. Let me be fair, but it's been a burr in our saddle that they've been supporting some gun control. So, kudos and thanks to Representative Clyde for his leadership inside the Congress. And I'll just say this, I hear from a lot of people, I don't want to take action. I don't want to call my representative because my guy stinks and, he's a liberal and he supports gun control. Well, let me say this. If that's you, if you're listening to this and that's you, that's kind of like me. That's my congressman too. Adopt a congressman. And the congressman that you should adopt is Representative Clyde. He is in a tough primary battle because the rhino establishment wants to take him out because they don't like hard chargers like him who are pushing for Second Amendment rights and forcing Republicans to take a stand the way he did this year. So, contribute to his campaign. Congressman, I hope you'll give people your a URL so people can support your race because, they're fixing to come get him, and we really need to stand up for him because he's been standing up for us.
So, Congressman, what kind of pushback do you get from your colleagues? Do they try and ignore you, or how do they feel? Where do they weigh in on this subject?
Most of the Republicans anyway, most of them are good Second Amendment folks, okay? There are a few that are not, and they're hardcore against the Second Amendment. We saw that in at least one of them that voted against the One Big Beautiful Bill. But if like Eric said, if folks want to adopt me, that'd be great. I'd appreciate that. They can go to ClydeForCongress.com. That's Clyde, the number 4, and then Congress.com, and help me out there. That would be great. We will continue pressing to restore what we have lost in the Second Amendment. In fact, one of the things that Congress has a problem with is when we pass a law, we leave it to the executive branch to kind of determine what we actually meant. Well, with this letter, I explicitly stated to the Department of Justice exactly what we meant. Now, it was kind of tough to get, more than about 30 folks on the letter, with the short time that we had, all right, to get the letter out before the Department of Justice actually filed their briefing. But I think what we're going to do in the future is we're going to open this letter back up. We're going to go to the Senate. We're going to go to the House, and I'm going to see how many members of the House we can actually get on this letter, and then we're going to bring it and file it as and bring it to the House floor and place it within the congressional record, so there is no question whatsoever what the intent of the Congress, House, and Senate is. So I think we're gonna open this letter up in the near future, make it bicameral, so that the Department of Justice has no excuse to go any other direction than what we are telling them to do.
Eric, we were talking about this before the show. What do people have against hearing suppressors? These are basic safety devices. What's the beef?
It's a no-brainer. In Europe, which, by the way, is far more opposed to the general ownership of firearms. If you do have a firearm, they consider it the neighborly thing to do is to get a suppressor for your firearm, because it is absolutely a safety device which helps prevent hearing damage. There's this myth that's been perpetrated by Hollywood that a suppressor makes a shot inaudible so that you can't hear it, and that's just an absolute lie. You see every show on TV. Somebody puts a suppressor on, and now all of a sudden it's just a whisper. And look, that is just Hollywood. It's not like that, but it does reduce it from ear-shattering decibels, bringing it down to, let's say, a lawnmower where it's not damaging to the ear. So, this is something that everybody should get behind. The last thing you want in the middle of the night, if you're using a firearm to protect yourself, is a deafening bang that's going to ruin your eardrums, because obviously you're not going to have time to throw on ear protection if you've been woken up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's for sure, Eric. You nailed that. Hey, we're going to be sending this. We're going to segment this out and put it out and really push it out to get people on board, our public, our viewers. And we want them to support both of you. So let's start with Eric. Talk about how they can support and find you, the Gun Owners of America, and how they can be a part of that, Eric. And then we're going to finish with Congressman.
Absolutely. Well, people can follow me on X at Eric M. Pratt, and that's Eric with a CH. But also go to our website at gunowners.org and sign up to be a member. That keeps us on the front lines. But even more importantly, sign up for our free email alerts, because honestly, that's what we were able to use, was that email alert system to put the heat on Congress. And when Congressman Clyde was fighting for us inside the Congress, we were generating hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of phone calls to key committees and key offices, and that made a huge difference in the battle to eliminate the tax on suppressors and short barrel firearms.
Well, Congressman, I know we need to get involved. We have to help you. And how can we help you? And you mentioned that earlier, your coordinates for your reelection, of course.
Thank you. First, I want to give a shout out to Gun Owners of America. If there's one organization that has partnered with me to ensure that this happened, it's GOA. So for those of you out there that really want to engage, GOA is firmly engaged, and they have been invaluable to me to help me accomplish what we have done. But to help me in my race, I do have a primary against a very well funded establishment opponent. Just go to ClydeForCongress.com. Up in the right-hand corner is a donate button, and everything helps, even the smallest of donations, to keep me in Congress and keep me fighting for the Second Amendment, fighting to restore what we have lost. And that's been my promise to the people. And as long as I'm able to be there, I will fight for it, and we will win.
Well, sure appreciate it. Thank you both for being here on Gun Stuff. And we'll push this out. We'll get the Gun Stuff audience to help push this your direction as well. So thank you so much for being on our show, both of you.
Thank you.
Chris.
Hey, you folks, stick around. There's more to come.
The next generation Gerson double stack Witness 2311 takes the 1911 design to the next level. Compatible with many 1911 slides, barrels, and parts, the Witness 2311 series is not a wolf in sheep's clothing double stack like much of the competition. Don't be fooled by the words double stack. Get a Witness 2311 for a true evolution of a 1911 double stack with match grade features. Find yours starting at just $749. To learn more, visit eaacorp.com.
So, hey, welcome to the show, Ursula. Glad to have you back. And Scott, now we've been sharing this. Scott, tell our viewers what they're looking at right now.
Yeah, so this is our shooting page. So this has all the links to all the videos, but it also has links to where you can find places to shoot, competitions, all kinds of different stuff.
You know, there's sometimes, of course, you've both been sort of laid up and you haven't really been able to do much practicing, or have you? Scott, here, what's going on, Scott?
Yeah, so this is, me and Ursula just decided to do a little training video. So she's got her boot on, I'm on crutches. I have a broken, busted right ankle. She's got a busted left ankle, and she sent me some drills and stuff like that of her shooting. So I just kind of tried to mimic them as best I could on my crutches, and this is just in pure fun, you know, just to try and stay efficient and relevant. So.
Yeah. Well, more so so if you think about this coming from a concealed carrier or basically anybody who wants to defend themselves, we're totally at a disadvantage right now. So therefore, we've never been in these positions before where we have an injury that's completely underneath the care of a doctor. But like, what if somebody sees that as hey, you know what, this chick's not going to run far. Let me attack her today. So I just wanted to make sure that I'm good with my gear with the limitations I do have. So Scott did the same thing because he's on crutches and he's like...
Now, Ursula, if they've been...
It was good. It was really good to know.
If they've been watching this show, they're going to be smart enough not to try and attack you.
But to be fair, Scott and I both have careers and retirements from... basically careers based off of people being dumb. So
there you go.
People are dumb.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, point well taken. Hey, this time on our show, we're always talking about a featured firearm, and this is the G3 Toro. Now, Ursula, I don't know if you're familiar with this. Scott, you've got one. Tell our viewers, introduce what the Toro is, and I think I have one right here in the studio here.
So this is the Taurus G3 Toro, and the Toro stands for Taurus Optic Ready option because you have the little spot on top where you can add the optic, and this package will come with an optic as well. So this is a 9mm, it's 15-round mag, poly lower with a stipple grip, Picatinny rail for your light, a 6-pound trigger. Slide is optic ready, like we talked about. It has a stainless steel barrel and a steel white dot sights. So it's one of the things, you know, some of the guns, they like, you know, plastic sights and stuff like that. This has steel sights, so that's one of the parts I like about this. And this
what do you
is
think,
really.
Ursula? Go ahead, Scott. Finish up there. Sorry.
Yeah, this is you know, your polymer frame defensive gun. You know, it's really low cost, and I can't believe what you know, the price on this package. You know, a red dot pistol that's gonna run, and you know, for $299 on the screen here, that's kind of crazy. You know, with an optic, you know, that's insane.
30 seconds, Ursula.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like 6 pounds. Maybe legally they have to say 6 pounds. I'm just throwing it out there, but it does not feel like 6. Sights lined up. I do like the fact that it actually, I think this one actually does come with the different plates as well. So if you don't want to run that particular optic, there's
but it comes free.
It comes with it, so you might as well use it.
$299.99 with the red dot. It's a $170 sight we're throwing in.
But it feels good.
And it's a Viridian sight, so they you know, the sights are it's Viridian sight, so they have excellent warranty. So
you're not going to replace
happens
that.
to it, you just send it in, they send you one right back.
Hey, we're going to have to leave it there, guys. Stick around. There's more to come from GunStuff. Hey, so welcome to the show, Mike Odell from CMMG, and we're glad to have you. Got your audio worked out. So, Mike, thanks for coming and joining us on today's show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So tell our viewers who CMMG, what does that stand for, and who are you guys?
Because y'all been in the game for a long time, and I never knew what that meant.
Yeah.
We'd like to know. Well, the funny thing is, legally, it doesn't stand for anything.
Okay.
It's been one of those things that there's a fun little backstory to it. I think part of it is there was a reporter at one of our early days in SHOT Show that the way they remembered it was Central Missouri Machine Gun, and that kind of grew like wildfire. And everybody says that's what it stands for, though it doesn't. But like I said, there is a hidden story behind it, but that's a story that our owners like to tell, so I like to let them tell it.
All right, we'll let them do it.
Is that going to be one of those secret squirrel meetings at SHOT Show at the Circle Bar and just get everybody drunk and just like, hey, where did this come from? Because we don't know. We want to know. I mean, it's not going to change our day, but I think it'd be great to know.
Yeah, and think about Ursula. She won't share it with anybody.
No, nobody shares anything at the Circle Bar.
No.
Yeah, so we're a small arms manufacturer. We are based out of currently out of Boonville, Missouri. We've been in business since 2002. Our primary call is like the AR style platforms. As you see on the screen there, that is one of our Mark 47s, which was probably one of the things that really, really got us on a lot of people's radar when we released it back in 2015. So that's been out for a little while now. But that was the AKAR hybrid. It's kind of, as I would jokingly say, it's kind of the best of both worlds. It gives you all the best parts of an AK and the good parts of an AR and puts them together. And that's kind of one of my babies. I've been around. I've been with the companies for a little over 13 years now. Mm-hmm. I've been around since that's inception. But as one of the other things too that I'd love to hear, having the Eric and I apologize for the
Congressman Clyde.
Yeah. Yes, I was like Congressman Clyde. Yeah, I was kind of excited to see that he was on this morning. And then, of course, I already had a brain cramp and forgot. But just the fact that they're also heavy into the fight of things. Like you see on our screen right now, we've also just released a whole new line of suppressors that is a more economical version of some suppressors. We're jokingly kind of saying it's the everyman can, because you're getting just a quality product that every man can afford. We have our short versions of them. I'm not. Am I allowed to say MSRPs or anything?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Certain platforms frown upon things like that, but so I mean, our short versions, MSRP at $550. The long ones are MSRP at $600. They're just a robust silencer, and kind of our goal on releasing that kind of suppressor, and that being a little bit of our focus currently, is just kind of like one of the things that we can use for our fight in the AR-15 world and trying to get things in common usage, and it makes it more difficult for them to come after. If we can get more suppressors into the hands of people too, I think that also allows them to be more in common usage, and we're hoping it's going to be a foothold, so it'll be harder for them to come after them too.
So I've been saying that for years, but a lot of people start cheaping out. They're like, "Oh, $200 tax sale." I'm like, "Yeah, but thing is, like, once something become common use, they can't ban it."
That's right.
That is why I'm like, "Yeah, suck it up." It's $200. But it's $200. Look at it as an investment for future freedom, as in for your kids and things like that, where they don't have to go through this because they can't ban them.
So I think in January that $200 is going away, isn't it, Mike?
It is. So January 1, the tax payment, I'll say, goes from $200 to zero. And like Congressman Clyde and GOA are going after, they're going after just removing it completely because of the registry part. So, you have people that are like, hey, now that I don't have to pay that $200, I'm going to be all over it. And we're really trying to gear up to be ready for production for that. But we also understand that there's also going to be fights going on in the background that we're willing to help, because there's still the registry, and there should not be the registry on that. So we're trying to do everything we can to prepare for the rise in demand, but also try to help fight behind the scenes too, because it's just it shouldn't exist. This should be an accessory like a stock or something like that. It really shouldn't have the regulations it's got. I jokingly say all the time that only in the U.S. can you have to pay a fine for not having a muffler on your car, but you have to pay a tax to put one on your gun.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Good
awesome.
point.
It's just, and that's exactly what it is. It's a muffler. And, I could go into a lot of the details of a lot of the different products we offer, because that is one of our other claims is, we make a ton of varieties. Like what you see on the screen now is one of our BR series that was specifically designed to be a restricted state compliant firearm. We know there are people in states that, due to whatever reasons, might not be able to easily move to a less restrictive state. They might have certain ties that keep them there. And those are the people that are kind of quote unquote behind enemy lines that are still there fighting for their freedoms. And it's good to have them there. And we want to be able to arm them just as well as the next guy.
Now you guys haven't been out to Scott's place. He's out there in the middle of the woods, and you got deer probably coming up to your windows, eating off of your picnic table all year. But during hunting season, they're a little bit more shy. And does that have something to do with suppressors, Scott?
Yeah, it sure does. And just guns. The people out here shooting, it gets loud, they go into hiding, but the thing is that's just one of the benefits of a suppressor. But the main thing is that we can use them for defense. If I'm using, that's my main reason that I own a suppressor, is because if I have to get up and use this in the middle of the night or whatever, I'm not gonna blow my kids' ears out, or
right.
My wife, if I have to shoot a rifle inside the house. And that's mainly what it's for. It's to make these guns more comfortable to use and easier. And the thing is, suppressors, they absorb some of the recoil, the gases and stuff that come off. A suppressed gun shoots better than an unsuppressed gun in most cases. You got a lot less going on, a lot less noise, a lot less gas coming back in your face, stuff like that. So that's why I like them, and that's why I think they should be here.
Hey, Michael.
They also do an incredible job on reducing flash. So if you had that guy.
Flash, yeah.
It says one of our guests here, there's another Mike, Michael Burr. We got all kinds of mics. This is a day for Mike. I have a CMMG 22 conversion kit for his AR. So
everybody has a Bravo.
I'll tell you what, we all love your products, Mike.
If you don't have a Bravo.
Right? Or you could be old school like me and have an old Alpha.
Oh, wow.
That was one of my first products I ever bought from CMMG. I've been a customer long before I was ever an employee. It's nice that the owners, I actually met them, I'm just going to say over 30 years ago. I met them at church. And when I bought my first AR, it was a CMMG because it had my hometown on the side of it. Mm-hmm. And then just being able to work with them and be, an employee and see how much stuff has grown over the years too. I was hands down a customer first. And then I love the product so much that, now I'm blessed to be able to come and do things like this and talk about the products that I love.
So what put me on CMMG many years ago was basically the competition sports. And then PCC became a thing. And there were people showing up with Banshees. We're like, what is that?
Yeah.
So
it looks cool.
So Mike, I think we're coming to the end here. We know you can purchase your products on gunstuff.shop, but if you want to learn more about your products, where do they go?
The easiest bet is just go to cmmg.com. We've got links there to all of our socials. Most all of our socials are literally just going to be CMMG or CMMG Inc. But, we've actually got a new website revamp coming next week, too. So it's going to be new and improved and just in time for Black Friday.
Nice. All right. Hey, well, I guess we'll have to leave it there. And you know what we need, Ursula, here is we need to have an after show circle bar for gun stuff here. That's what we really need. And
I don't know. A lot of people. A lot of business goes down at circle bar.
Yeah. Hey, there's more to come from Gun Stuff.
But the one thing I can tell you about my family, it's bred into us. We're not quitters.
attacks and firearms.
Hey, welcome to the show, Athena Targets. We're glad to have you on the show, Mike. We love the name, we love the logo, we love everything about it, your products. How'd you get started?
So I've been in the industry with a different company for about 5 years now. And just recently, some things transpired, and it was time for me to move on and do something a little bit different. Hence, Athena Targets has come about. I always have been adamant about providing good quality products, American-made products for the industry, and that's what I wanted to continue to do. And so hence Athena was born. It's the goddess of wisdom in warfare. So what better suiting name for a target company, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Say, Scott, I love these because we showed you both shooting targets today. It's always good to have something that goes bing, bing, so we know. It's good for the audio, at least for the show.
Yeah, and and the thing is, I think it's great to see you out on your own. You recently started this company, and it's growing like wildfire already, and we want to help you do that. But the thing is, I mean, you've got all the experience, and you know how to make these things, and you know how to make them the right way. So, I can't wait to experience them.
I appreciate that. That is kind of one of the biggest things is having the industry experience for the last 5 years, right? Like I'm out in the community, I'm shooting competitions, we're dealing with law enforcement, we're dealing with military. So seeing all the different applications of targetry over the last 5 years has been really beneficial in allowing me to come up with new innovative stuff that actually benefits the community in not a cookie cutter type of fashion, so to speak, where you're kind of limited to this circle or this size torso.
Right.
Lots of cool things that we've seen. A lot of the competitions use T-post, right? T-post after COVID have been a huge big deal because lumber went through the roof, and it's kind of calmed down. But we've used a lot of the T-post integration so that we can actually protect the T-post from getting destroyed. Absolutely, like the picture here, using the T-post to hang lumber, creating speed racks, which everybody in competitions use these days. So it's a great training tool without spending thousands of dollars for transition training. But just all different kinds of brackets that are way different than what anybody else is currently doing. And they're all stainless steel, so they're not going to rust. There's an example of kind of the speed rack setup, and you can see the T-post protectors below the torso. So
that's cool.
Anybody that's not judiciously shooting, so to speak, is going to help you prolong the life of those T-posts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the thing is, even the people, the good shooters, you're always going to miss a target, and I can't tell you how many T-posts I've destroyed. The thing is, they usually hold up for, but they get down, they'll just be holding one little piece of metal.
You're not in the middle.
Yeah, it starts to lean a little bit. You just let it keep shooting till it falls over. But with something like this, it protects it, and you can see this the frag going into the T-post protector, and you just put it in the ground once, and you won't ever have to replace it. It'll be there forever.
Right.
So that's the great thing about it.
Question.
We also took into consideration, because one of the biggest things was like, well, how can I hear my hits if you have a steel T-post protector below it? A lot of the competition goes, well, you can't get a good audible feedback on the target if you hit the T-post, but they are very, very different and distinguishable sounds. Mm-hmm. So if you are shooting a competition or some of these match directors, it's a noticeable difference between the steel hits and the T-post protectors. So
yeah.
My question. Rifle rated.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
It's all American AR 500. I don't do anything other than American made product, and it will hold up to everything that you could possibly throw at it.
Cool.
Yeah, and the thing I love about this,
distances, right?
Right, appropriate distances. Yes.
The thing I love about this is that you can take these brackets and you can hang them on, with just a handful of brackets. You can make a plate rack. You can do a lot of different things with these targets. So you can use them in multiple ways. So you can set a range up to do a lot of different type of training with just without having to have all these specialized targets that are meant. This one's meant to do this. This one's meant to do this. This one only hangs on this type of thing. So this is a great system because it uses readily found materials, and you can set it up in just about any way you want.
Mm-hmm. And that is awesome.
And so this is kind of a brainchild here. Everybody wants high value targets or something reactive on the range. Or anytime you can add movement to a target system, it's always cool. It always adds a better experience, but it also creates a more challenging shooting experience. So part of the brackets that we do here will allow you to add additional danglers like in the pictures there, where you can create a little bit more enhanced shooting version of what you currently got on. And that's steady growing. There's lots to come there. This is just kind of getting started with that. So look forward to seeing a lot of those cool type of dynamic type stuff in the future as well.
Cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Now, this AR 500, that's they say that's kind of the standard in these start. What does that mean, AR 500?
It's not assault rifle. I will tell you that.
Okay.
It's an abrasion resistance. Yeah. Abrasion resistant steel is what that is. And a lot of the times you see that on Humvees. You see it on bottom of skid steers like Caterpillars or things like that, because it's a high carbon content steel that's made to be harder than any of the projectiles that you would normally be shooting out of it or at it, with the exception of like rounds that are just designed to destroy steel, like green tips or SS-109s or some kind of steel core penetrators. Obviously, we don't want to shoot steel targets with those because it very, very much kills your targets, right? That's what it's designed to do. So.
Yeah, exactly. And when I'm getting confused here. You said you just started. Is that right? When was this?
Yeah, so I left the former company about 2 months ago, approximately, and this has come to fruition in about the last month and a half. So
where on earth? I mean, there are so many different. We're going through the media here, and this is incredible. Ursula, what do you think?
I know. I'm like, where's the next competition I might find these targets so I can shoot them?
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. We'll be at the Patriot Games Championship in 17 South next weekend. We're sponsoring the Patriot Games as one of their primary sponsors. Also, we're doing our own memorial event that we're presenting in February, where all the proceeds go to the Gold Star families, the Memorial Valor Foundation. So it's a 3-gun, 2-gun event.
Oh, wow. Nice.
That'll be hosted in Georgia. So
yeah, that's a great. So if you get a chance, check it out, because I checked out a lot of media from it last year. It's a fantastic event, and it helps a lot of people.
It sold out in about 3 days, so that was really impressive. We're really happy about that. We were able to roughly raise about $6,000 for the foundation last year, and we're really hoping to exceed that this year. So, that is awesome. Hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, I really like, and I gotta be honest with you. I really like the tombstone target, because that's the military style be modified or whatever it is. Then basically that's the all you can see if someone's in the prone and they're laying and they've got their rifle like this. All you can see is their head and their shoulders, and those are the targets you have to shoot in the military at certain yardages to be able to pass qualification courses and stuff like that. So
I noticed there wasn't a lot of people doing that kind of stuff, right? So wanted to give everybody a little bit different look at what common targetry is already out there. A-zone steel, there's very limited places that you can get that, just having that A-zone structure. Those little tombstones, like you said, and then of course the dynamic stuff that I can be very competitive now on pricing. I'm going to brag it's probably the most competitive in the industry currently.
Well, what are the price ranges? We got about less than a minute. Give us the scoop
just to give you an example, for that 20-inch torso there with the dynamic bullseye that popped up, it's $150. So
that's good.
That's with your choice of bracketing.
$150 and it lasts for a lifetime.
So
yeah.
And the thing
outside of you being stupid,
and he's got and Athena has steel targets on. I'm looking at their site right now. They have targets as low as $20. So you got steel targets you can throw out on your range, and they'll last for your lifetime, and for $20. So
hey, I tell you what, that sounds great. Now we got 15 seconds left, Mike. Tell our viewers where they can go and can they buy them online?
Absolutely. So athenatargets.com is our website. Working out some hiccups with the shipping, but you can make your purchases there. We have a sales email directly. And of course, all of our social medias are live. I'm very responsive on Instagram and Facebook, pretty much all hours of the night. So if anybody has questions about that, or even just wants to get an order done through that way, we can take it that way too. So
awesome.
All right. Hey, well, thanks so much, Mike.
And congrats.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, there's more to come from GunStuff. Hey, welcome to the show, Mike Sodini from Walk the Talk America. Hey, Mike, glad to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We met you out at Goals, and that's where we met Congressman Clyde. You got to see him at the beginning of a show. And Second Amendment advocacy is important. But you guys have sort of a narrow lane, and I'd like you to tell our viewers, who is Walk the Talk America?
Walk the Talk America is the only homegrown firearms industry mental health organization that is absolutely like GOA, no compromise on rights, but believes in getting gun owners help without fear of consequence and building bridges to, I guess you could say, the gun ignorant or anti-gun side as well, to educate.
So mental health has a lot to do with it. Now, I've been watching, I can't remember who it's been. They're always saying, oh, yeah, the Gifford Group. They're saying, on Veterans Day, people aren't caring about veterans. If they cared about veterans, they'd take away their guns. I mean, I think a lot of veterans are afraid to seek counseling because their rights are going to be trampled on. What do you think, Mike?
Absolutely. I mean, gun owners in general are afraid to seek mental health counseling to lose their rights. So, you take people where it's their job to carry a firearm. I mean, that's just going to amplify that fear, especially for any first responder, active duty military, or combat vet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thing is lots of us, Ursula knows plenty of people. I know plenty of people that, you say something that you've had some type of trauma or traumatic experience, and you're in law enforcement and you're grounded. They'll take your firearm and they'll put you on a desk or whatever, and until they can make sure you're right. And so, organizations like yours can help you get through stuff like that.
I appreciate that.
And we got some stats here, and you can walk us through some of these slides here. Mike, what are we looking at here? A lot of numbers. I got to process this. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, what we're really looking at is the true problem when it comes to the gun violence, right? And I hate using that term because we don't use fork violence, we don't use computer violence. But when they say gun violence, really what most people are talking about is suicides. Suicide makes up most of, the tragic loss when it comes to firearms in this country, and it's lumped in there with everything else, and therefore it just becomes gun violence. But if we focus on suicide, we really can put a dent in the number of people that take their life each year. And along with that, I think we could do a lot of things like help stop mass shootings, because mass shootings are basically suicide turned outwards in most cases. And it's very hard to catch the next mass shooter, but you can focus on suicide, cast such a wide net that, you maybe catch that mass shooter when they're at stage 2 instead of stage 4. So the concept behind that is the firearms industry needs to lead the way in doing that.
And that's the percentage active shooting deaths. Now, what is an active shooting death? What is active shooting? What does that mean?
Well, when you think of an active shooter, you're basically thinking of the definition of a mass shooter, right? Which is usually like 4 or more. And like I said, that number is you never want to downplay a number when it comes to mass shootings, but suicide is the true issue when it comes to firearm death. It accounts for 2/3, depending on what year it is, 2/3 or half of all firearm deaths.
2/3, wow. And we got quite a few photos to go through here.
I know Kevin.
Yeah, this is...
Yes.
Kev.
Yes, no Kev. Yes.
He's great. We like to, at Walk Talk America, think of hey, if there's a negative outcome for a firearm, we have a program that handles it. And this is basically our inner city youth shooting sports program called Kids to Kings. I'm particularly proud of this program because all of our kids that come through this program, they become men, and they really learn to use the firearm as like a martial arts. But we don't just hit them with firearms, right? We hit them with financial competency courses, everything. We tie it to their grades. You don't get to shoot unless you perform well in school, things like that. But this is at the NRA show this year. This is what I'm particularly proud of, because when I was walking these kids around the NRA show, I wouldn't say anything when I walked up to a booth. So like I was watching these like presidents of companies just watch my kids handle the firearms. And then of course, like you go like, what is this? And I'd make a joke. I'd be like, it's Different Strokes 2025. And because I could tell they were super confused. They're like, no, seriously, what is this? I'm like, these are my kids. And this is our program. And basically like every single executive was like, I got to talk to these kids. And you know what it feels like for a kid to have the president of Ruger or the owner of Glock like look you in the face and be like, if you ever want to come work here, we have a position for you. We'd love to have you, whether you're an engineer, you're into marketing, you know, it just, what competition shooting, right? Like these kids are going to grow up to be the next gun shop owners. They're also going to be the next firearms instructors in communities, and they handle firearms better than 90% of the people in that at the show. So, you know, it's just something I'm really proud of. And people always try to say like, you know, they want to avoid the tough parts. Like nobody wants to talk about inner city violence. And I think running towards the gun and educating kids who historically never have access to responsible gun ownership or healthy gun ownership is the key.
Where was this?
Great.
30 years ago.
I know,
because
right?
like I grew up in Detroit, and at the time, the only people who had guns were cops and bad guys, and it wasn't part of the culture. And I like you're taking a cultural approach to this as well, because like there was no like dinner conversation over anything that was gun related. I move out to Arizona, I got all these friends of all different backgrounds, and they're like, "Hey, I killed my first deer at 6," and I'm like, "That's a thing." Like, what did you use? I'm like, how big were you at 6, They're like, oh, yeah, I have a rifle. You have a rifle at 6? Hold up, time out. And then that's when I start to kind of piece together the cultural differences between growing up in inner city and then my friends who grew up in different backgrounds. So I love how there's this program now that wasn't available when I was a kid. But that's awesome. That is so amazing.
I think we have to destigmatize mental health and looking for help, because if you need help, you should get it. You should try to get it.
And I like having another resource, because one thing that I come across are people who are anti-gun. They all of a sudden feel like they're going to get like anger issues by owning a gun. Like they're like, oh, if I get mad, I'm a snap, or I don't want a gun because I might do this. And I'm like, well, maybe you shouldn't have a gun, but hey, here's a resource now. So there's, thank you.
Hey, so Mike,
so it's like when people say that, it's like, I always ask them, what are you doing to work on your anger management issue? Like your anger management issue is not my problem. It shouldn't impede on my rights. I mean, if you know yourself, that's great. But also, what are you doing to fix yourself? If you're like, I couldn't own a gun because I would abuse that right.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. No. So Mike, we're here at the end. Tell our viewers how they can learn more and support Walk the Talk America.
Obviously, at WTTA.org or WalkTheTalkAmerica.org, on social media at Walk the Talk US. We're on X, Instagram, and Facebook.
The headrest safe is quick and easy to use. Some may even call it a game changer. The headrest safe acts as a safety net, protecting your belongings while keeping them out of sight and out of bounds of others, serving as security while also keeping your valuables in bounds. That's what the headrest safe provides for me. Game, set, match.
Thanks you all for watching. Yes, we're here at the end of our show, giving you a preview of what's going to happen next week. A Girl and a Gun. Women's Shooting League will be here, a regular design group, and also Charter Arms. But until that time, get your stuff from GunStuff.